Good afternoon from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Ross Johnston. It was a tale of two halves yesterday as the Titans fell to the Saints 34-26. After leading 20-10 at the half, Cam Ward went 21 of 40 for 251 yards and 2 touchdowns. Chigakonkwo and Alec Iomanner had the Titans' 2 scores, while Jeffrey Simmons also had another good performance, reaching double-digit sacks in 2025 yesterday, which marks the first time he's done so in a season during his career. The NFL's 2 winning get-in games are set, starting with the Buccaneers hosting the Panthers on Saturday at 3:30 Central. The winner of that game will take home the NFC South title and a playoff berth. And on the flip side, the Pittsburgh Steelers host the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday Night Football. The winner of that game will take home the AFC North title and a playoff berth as well. The Steelers will still be without DK Metcalf this game, as the Ravens are also unsure about the status of Lamar Jackson. Lastly, the Tennessee Volunteers play their final football game of the 2025 season tomorrow in Nashville as they take on Illinois in the Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl, with kickoff set for 4:30 at Nissan Stadium. You can listen to Vol Network's coverage of the game tomorrow right here on The Zone after Cover 2. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news and watch on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Welcome in 3HL on 104.5 The Zone. We are so glad you're with us. Happy Monday, everybody. I feel like I haven't done this in a while. It's good to be back home and hanging out on the radio. I know it said Dawn and Brent and Slay, but that ain't the case. I got a special guest today, Stony Keely, Football and Other F Words podcast. Stony, what up? I'm so glad you're here with me. Thank you.
Yeah, happy to be here, Dawn. Completing the trifecta today. I've hosted with Brent, I've hosted with Slay. Now I get to host with you. Let's have us a show. Let's have some fun today.
Love it. Maybe you can lend a little credibility to this show with your presence.
I don't know
here.
about all that. I don't know about all that now.
We need it. That is for sure. So 3HL live from the 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. Let's start off with, what the heck have you been doing the last week?
I don't know. We're in that weird twilight zone. There's just it's like a time suck. We're just stuck in space-time between Christmas and New Year's. Like, I'm just like drinking wine and eating Ferrero Rochers for breakfast. I just completely lost all control. Let me put it this way. I was talking to my wife last night. She's up visiting family in New Jersey. I'm back down here to do Titans Talk back in today's show. And I'm talking to her. She's like, well, you got to work tomorrow? And I'm like, yeah, tomorrow's 3HL. And she responds with, I thought you said that was the 29th. Like, yeah, babe, that is the 20. Tomorrow is the 29th. Nobody has any concept of time or what day it is right now. So I'm maintaining. Every few hours I eat something. I go to sleep when it gets dark, and then I wake up and I do it again. And one day I'll just snap out of this funk.
That's how I feel too. I've got a million bowl games coming up in the next couple of days. Yeah, I just got back from Phoenix, where it's like 75 degrees, and then of course here it's like 20. So welcome home.
Do you have any tips or tricks on not getting sick traveling to like all these different climates back and forth?
No, and I don't know how I do it, but this is inevitably, this is what happens. And if Brent were Slay and Slay were here, they would tell you, I make it through the entire football season somehow with all these flights with like people coughing on me next to me. And I make it through the entire football season. And then immediately after football season, inevitably, I end up getting sick.
It's like your immune system knows, like, we're off the clock now.
Like, we don't have time to get sick right now, so just suck it up. I will say this, though. So I worked the Rate Bowl in Phoenix, which was New Mexico and Minnesota. Great game. Went to overtime.
Mm-hmm.
It was I had one opt-out in that entire game between the two teams. It was so refreshing to have a game where everybody wanted to play and everybody wanted to win.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it just, and then I have Las Vegas Bowl. I'm flying out tonight for the Las Vegas Bowl, which is Utah and Nebraska. So, like, fun game,
Looks
right?
pretty good on paper.
It looks pretty good on paper, but let me tell you about all the cross-offs for all the NFL draft guys and all of that. And then Utah, what an absolutely crazy situation that's going on with Utah. So I'll let you in a little bit on this. We did our phone call with Coach Whittingham last week about this game. And he's like, yeah, I can't wait to, it's my last game with this team and this program after 21 years of coaching at Utah and blah, blah, blah. And Morgan Scalley, the DC, is the coach in waiting, has been for like 7 years, and he's going to take over. But, Witt's like, it's going to be great. I had like 1,000 text messages of, that I had to answer of people just saying congrats on a great career. And now he's going to Michigan.
Yeah.
And he's not even going to be at the game.
But you could still use his quotes and stuff, right?
Well, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Well, here's what former coach Kyle Whittingham had to say.
Here's what the head coach of Michigan had to say about this football game.
Exactly. I mean, it was just so bizarre. And then that's a crazy situation because, the rumors are he's going to take Jason Beck, his offensive coordinator, with him.
Yeah.
Beck is coaching this game. Their quarterback, Devin Dampier, came from New Mexico with Beck.
Yeah.
Had a great season. Like, that is his guy. So if his OC leaves, does he leave with him? But then Michigan kind of has a good quarterback there.
I was about to say, they're pretty hyped about their quarterback up in Ann Arbor.
And supposedly Witt spent like an hour with him, flew to Orlando, where their bowl game is, spent like an hour with him and his family to convince him to stay. So I'm like, okay, so is Bryce going to be your quarterback? Is Devin going to transfer? I actually talked to Devin today, so I'll save that for our broadcast and what he told me. But it's just...
That's what we call a tease, ladies and gentlemen.
That is... it's just craziness. And then the Titans lose.
Yeah. Well, can I ask you something about the Rate Bowl before we move on?
Yes.
I'm a huge fan of Jason Eck.
Oh, my
And every
gosh.
time I bring his name up, I don't think anybody knows who he is. But what he's done as the head coach of New Mexico, this was a bottom-feeding team that I don't know too many people that projected them to win more than 2 or 3 games this season, if that.
No.
Offensive line guy, has the buy-in from the players. Like, this is a guy that is ascending in the coaching ranks, and
How do you even know about him? Like, honestly, people do not know his name at all. Like, people listening, do you guys know who Jason Eck is?
I don't know. I don't know. Because every time I bring him up, even in, like, football circles, people are like, wait, who? Who? I'm like, the head coach of New Mexico.
Yeah.
Turn that program around in one season on the doorstep of 10 wins for a program that was supposed to get 2 this season. Really impressive. He's an O-line guy. I found him just kind of scrolling through coaching clinics on YouTube.
Oh, my gosh.
And
you are a nerd. I love it.
Yeah, I am. And I'm watching these O-line clinics where he's kind of explaining his scheme, what he likes to run, communications, that sort of stuff. And he calls the O-line meeting room the hog pen.
Yep.
Hog pen or the hog den, I can't remember, something like that.
Yeah.
And instantly like that, I was like, yeah, he's a dude. He's a dude.
Is a dude. And I love that you know him because it's funny. Our crew, I'm with Mike Monaco, Kirk Morrison, and they were like, this guy is going to be the next name.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Moving up in coaching jobs.
We have an opportunity here, Dawn, to be the smartest show on the airwaves because we're gonna tell people about Jason Eck when he's gonna have like Maryland or some Big Ten school competing for a Big Ten championship in 5 years. People are gonna come back to this show and they're gonna say, damn, Dawn and Stony were on it back
That's
then.
right.
So
yes. So perfect example for New Mexico and what he did. So they have like a, clear sheet where they can put articles in their lockers.
Yeah.
And so this year there was a site that had them going 1-11. Their only win against an FCS team, 1-11. So they had those in their lockers all year, brought them to the bowl game, put them up there. They end up with 9 wins. They should have played in their conference championship. They lost the tiebreaker, which was just it's like the ACC disaster. Like, fix your crap, But anyway, and so he took that. His quarterback is a former walk-on at Idaho.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this guy gets the most out of his players. People gravitate towards him. Like, you called him a really nice guy, by all accounts that I've read and heard, his players really relate to him well. He has that ability
Players
to connect
love
with
him.
people. I was listening to the Titans Countdown a couple of weeks ago when Will Bowling was talking to Marcus Harris. Marcus Harris gives Jason Eck credit as one of the guys that helped get
crazy
him
is
ready
that?
from when he was at Idaho. So, like, to still have that sort of an impact on a player, I think it speaks to the man he is, the culture builder that he is, and that's a tough physical football team too. And I think, to me, I look at a guy like that and I'm like, this man's tailor-made for the Big Ten.
They're smaller, they're slower,
Yep.
they're all of those things, but the mentality, and also their DC is Spence Nowinski, who is nuts. Like, dude is crazy. Watching him on the sideline, I'm like, holy cow, this guy's a lot. I love him, but he's a lot. But it's that mentality. It's that we're going to play physical, in your face, tough, and even Minnesota was like, you pop in the tape, and this team is relentless. Doesn't
And
matter that
Minnesota,
they're smaller and slower.
Another tough physical football team.
Exactly.
So it's
Like,
just-
that's what they pride themselves on. And New Mexico brought it. Here's a crazy story about Jason Eck, too. The only reason he's in college coaching is because his son, who was the Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year this year, also from Idaho, when he was like kind of growing up in high school, Jason Eck's wife was like, hey, like, Jackson's going to be pretty good. I think he's going to have a chance to play in college. You should try and maybe get out of, high school coaching, maybe get in the college ranks, and eventually maybe you and Jackson can be on the same team. You can coach your son, and that would be great for our family, and we'll get to watch it. And he was like, you think I should do that? And she was like, absolutely. That is the only reason he got initially into college coaching, was because he thought he might have a chance to coach his son.
Man.
And now he's legit. You're right.
What a guy. What a guy.
I still can't believe that you know him.
He deserves his flowers. Yeah, well, like I said, I'm just scrolling coaching clinics. I'm like, who's this Jason Eck guy that has all these offensive line clinics on here?
Yeah.
And then I watch it and I'm like, wow, he's really breaking this down in a clean, concise way. Like, you have to imagine the players are taking that, receiving it pretty well, cleanly, and then I see New Mexico doing what it's doing. I'm like, this might be a dude.
He's a dude.
Is this the most that New Mexico football has been talked about on this station before?
Ever.
Then I was going to say,
Ever.
hey, speaking of tough and physical too, how about Dawn with Mr. Urlacher the other day? That was pretty sick right there.
Yeah.
Saw that.
Legend, man.
Yeah.
That guy is a legend. He spoke to the team, too, before this season.
Really?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
man.
He was pumped about their program right now. You could
He's
just
so
tell.
excited. It was great. Of course, we're talking to him right before they're in the red zone. I'm like, this is a terrible time to talk to to Brian. But yeah, so I'm with you. He's gonna be a future head coach somewhere big, and he's gonna bring that mentality. I think it hurts him. He doesn't have the look, right?
No, he doesn't.
Or the
Yeah, you're right.
demeanor,
Yeah.
and all that. Like he's he's kind of like, he looks like an offensive line coach.
He does.
Right?
He does,
He
yeah.
doesn't have the look or the kind of persona, but his wife is big on social media, so she's gotten him on social media, and so he does all these videos, and I think in the next couple of years we'll definitely hear his name. You're absolutely right. It's going to be fun.
And we're going to be the smart show.
That's right.
That talked about it.
That's right. That'll be a first. Huh. Okay, let's talk Titans. We got to take a quick break here, but Titans lose to the Saints yesterday, but I think there's some positives to pull from. They fall 34-26. There's also some negatives that we can talk about, but we're going to do kind of a deep dive into it, maybe some general feelings about what we took from that game yesterday, all of that. If you want in, 615-737-1045, come join us. We're talking Titans and Cam Ward coming up next here on 3HL. This is 3HL and 1045 The Zone.
here, it can sound like a language of its own. But hey, if you can pronounce Demumbria, then names like Yossi, Shea, Marchessault will roll right off the tongue. Nashville Predators, only in Smashville.
One of the largest sports books east of the Mississippi, Circa Sports Kentucky, is now open. Catch all your favorite games on an 80-foot screen with stadium-style seating and live VSiN broadcast daily. Circa Sports, now open at the Mint Gaming Hall, Kentucky Downs.
My dad and I used to golf together all the time, but when he hurt his back, it was over.
To have your son want to spend time with you is amazing. That's why my chronic back pain has been so heartbreaking. Surgery, fused bones, long recovery. No way, not for me. A friend recommended stem cells, so I gave Kellum Stem Cell Institute a call.
I'm glad you're out on the course.
Yeah, it's really good.
Call the Kellum Stem Cell Institute today. Swing still looks just okay though.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
Ross, this music is way too chill for a Monday with Stony Keely.
This time of year too.
I know it's Jay-Z.
I'm just gonna prop my feet up a little bit.
Stoney's always been a chill guy.
I am a chill guy. Yeah.
It's kind of just this song reminds me.
He is
of
a chill guy. He watches random coaching clinics on offensive line play online.
He's a sicko too.
I didn't even tell you guys. I spent my morning watching Jesse Minter clinics. Jeff Halfley has one from when he was at Ohio State about press man technique.
Ooh, nice.
That's how I spent my morning, just jotting potential Titans head coaches down, taking notes.
That's good because we're going to talk about that later in the show.
Ooh, there we go. Another tease.
Another tease. Yes. In the 5 o'clock hour, we will talk about some of the odds that have come out from the betting places about who's going to be the next head coach for the Titans. So I just had to give my prediction to our social media team about who I thought the Titans would hire. So we'll talk about that in the 5 o'clock hour. We've got Scott Ramsey, President CEO of Nashville Sports Council, on at 3:45 to talk about the FCS championship that is here in town, which is going to be awesome, by the way. Montana State and Illinois State. I actually worked that semifinal game with Montana State and Montana, Brawl of the Wild 2.0, and it was amazing, and the crowd was electric, and Montana State fans will travel. They might already be here, knowing them.
Why not?
And they will drink Broadway out of beer. Promise you. So we'll talk
get
to
ready,
him.
Broadway.
Get ready, Broadway.
Yeah.
We'll talk to Scott Ramsey about that. And then we have Chris Lowe at 5:20, and there's so much for us to talk about with him, from Lagway to Vandy to he's in New Orleans, Sugar Bowl. I know we're going to bring up some DeBoer stuff because that whole thing is fascinating with him. Yeah. So all of that at 5:20. But first, let's talk Titans. Titans fall to the Saints 34-26. Cam Ward, 21 of 40, 251 yards, 2 touchdowns for the 4th straight game for Cam Ward. And we'll dive into his the weirdness that is people's takes on Cam Ward.
It's a little divisive.
It's a little divisive. Yeah, we're going to dive into that in the 4 o'clock hour. But first, Stony, I just want your take on kind of general feelings when we look at this game, when we look at the Titans lose, but can we pull positives, good, bad? How do we feel about what happened yesterday for the Tennessee Titans?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because the game really felt like a tale of two halves. Yeah. In the first half, I thought we were building towards a rout that the Titans were going to blow out the Saints. And, people that just kind of looked at the records on the season for both of these teams might have looked at this game and thought, it's two cellar dwellers. Like, this isn't going to be a good game. But the Titans were 2-1 in their last 3 going into this game. The Saints had won 3 in a row. They'd won 4 of their last 6. These were teams that were kind of finding their footing late in the season, starting to build a little momentum for 2026. There was plenty at stake in this game. And the Saints play good defense, and for the Titans to come out and start the game the way that they did was really encouraging, really hopeful. And I think there's a lot of things that they did that were particularly, it aligned with some of the things that they were doing, starting to kind of find their identity, running the ball, hitting some of these explosive plays, really encouraging stuff. And then the second half starts, and they had one full drive in the third quarter. They had the ball to go into the fourth quarter, but other than that, they had one full drive in the third quarter. And the Saints go down, score on the opening drive, and it kind of felt like, as Kevin Dyson described it on Titans Talkback yesterday, it's like the two teams switched energies at halftime. And so that's where I think you can be disappointed, because you did see the Titans kind of revert to things that weren't working earlier in the season. They stopped running the ball. They got into more 11 personnel and just tried to sling it around, and it wasn't working. So it's hard. You talk about just general feelings. It's hard not to be disappointed in the outcome of this game because of how they started it and how it should have ended if they were able to just finish. And so that's the taste that's left in my mouth, is just the bitter defeat. And it's kind of hard to look at some of the positives that came out of this game because of that.
So obviously I am like team just lose so that we can get a better draft pick. But that is the Titans fan in me coming out, So I'm great with looked great in the first half and still suffered a loss. And I know people come at me all the time in the chat when I'm a
win games guy. I'm a win games guy. Well, specifically for this draft. Last year, when you needed the quarterback, I'm like, lose as much as you can, as badly as you can. whatever it takes to get the first pick because you're going to need the quarterback.
Right.
Now that they have the quarterback and the draft class is kind of, I don't know, it's like the top of this class is like a running back, a safety, and a linebacker. So I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
Win the games,
Guess
build
what?
the culture.
You're the Titans. You need all of that.
Yeah, well, that's the good thing is
You
like,
need everything.
Whatever's there, you can get a pretty good player. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I just want to see. There's been so much losing the last couple of seasons. I'm like, I just want to feel it again.
Yeah.
I just feel the victory again.
So let me ask you this. You felt it in the first half, but second half, is a part of that the lack of depth or lack of talented depth on this roster? Because I think sometimes people forget this. Look at the secondary for the Titans. I mean, you got guys that shouldn't even be in the league. I mean, that's harsh, but you know what I mean.
Well, they weren't in the league
exactly
a couple of weeks ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, great that they're getting an opportunity and a chance, and people step up and show things in these moments. But I think sometimes people forget too, when you're talking about a full game, that lack of depth and lack of deep talent really starts to bite you, and you saw that in the second half.
Yeah, and it felt like Kellen Moore did a great job of scheming ways to get Chris Olave one-on-one with these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tyler Shuck hits the throws, and the next thing you know, it's ball game. But I do feel like we tend to lose sight of that. I feel like Denard Wilson's probably getting a little too much criticism. Like, what is the man supposed to do with what he has right now?
Bless his heart.
You're talking about L'Jarius Sneed. Who knows if we'll ever see him on an NFL field again. You're talking about Jarvis Brownlee Jr. Yeah. Jarvis Brownlee Jr., who's a New York Jet. Roger McCreary is a Los Angeles Ram. You had Marcus Harris playing pretty decent ball, and now he's on IR to finish the season. You look at the safeties, you've got Amani Hooker, but then Kevin Winston Jr. goes down, Mike Brown goes down. You're down to playing guys that you got off their couch from a couple of weeks ago, or practice squad guys like Kendall Brooks, who has had some promising moments in the preseason, but he's a developmental player. He's just not, I'm sure he's doing the best that he can. I'm sure all these guys are doing the best that they can, but it's just not, it's not ideal for a defense when you're working with like safety 6, safety 7. You're down to Darrell Baker Jr., who is perfectly serviceable as a depth piece, but he's your top cornerback right now. I mean, teams, it's like a shark smelling blood in the water. Teams are going to capitalize on that, and I don't know that there's anything that can be done with this group.
See, I think that's a great point. Now, in the chat, DP 5707, look at all the excuses that come up on here. They're not excuses. It's just facts.
That's reality.
I mean,
man.
it is the reality that this roster is garbage. Now, you can say that it's on management and GM and whatever, the building of this roster, even the last couple of years to put you in this position. You can say that's on them. This is on the Titans franchise, that they're in the place that they're in.
Yeah, sure.
But this is not excuses. It's just facts. Like, your roster is significantly less talent-wise than what it should be in the NFL.
And we're talking about the defensive backs right now, but it ain't just the defensive backs where they're thin right now.
I was going to say, I'm going to guess that whoever that was in the chat could not name every single player on this football team right now.
Oh, Ross, calling
dude,
them out.
I can't.
No, there were times.
I can't name.
Don't you see some dude on the field every week, and you're like, wait, who's that again?
That's what every week. Zach and I watch the games in the podcast studio before we come do Titans Talk Back, and every week there's somebody makes a play or a tackle, and I'm like, now wait, who's number 40? Who's this guy?
When did he join the roster? When did he start getting playing time again?
I didn't even know this dude was a Titan.
Forgot about Micah Robinson until he didn't get that punt down at the 1. I was like, oh, he's on the team still?
Yeah. Man, it's crazy. I don't know what you do to combat that. I was listening to Cover 2 earlier.
You wait till next season.
Yeah, with Ross and Zach, and they were talking about like what can Denard Wilson realistically do here, and I'm like, man, is he just going to have to like put 9 guys at the line of scrimmage and just blitz everybody he can and just hope they get to the quarterback before the throw comes out? I mean, I don't know. I am, to DP's point, I am big on not making excuses. But like you said, Don, this isn't an excuse. I'm not trying to let anybody off the hook. I do think it's the failing of the front office. But at this point in the season, when you're talking about a coach from a coaching perspective, I don't know what the man's supposed to do with what he has. And to be fair to him, I don't know which DC in the league could do something with this group that the Titans are fielding right now.
I totally agree. Now, let's go to maybe a positive, and we're going to dive in deep on Cam Ward because there are people that are like, oh, he's it. He's the future. And then there's people that are like, oh, another loss, another failure by Cam Ward. There it is right there in the chat. When is it going to stop? But here's the positive. The most offensive points per game the last month, okay? Titans are 7th. 26.3 points per game. To give you perspective, the Rams are first, shocker, with 41. But for the last month, I mean, do you remember for 2 straight years, the Titans couldn't score more than 17 points on offense?
Yeah.
I mean, that was the number. They would not score more than 17, you know?
And now you're talking about them averaging over 26 over the course of, 4 or 5 games?
Yes. So last month, basically.
The last month, yeah.
Yeah. So there is the positive from that standpoint. And then with Cam Ward, I think there are flashes of brilliance. And then there's flashes of, what are we doing?
Yeah, which I think is to be expected
Is rookie?
From a young team. And when you get down to a more granular level as to like how they're getting to those 26 points per game, it is Cam Ward, but it's also the offensive line playing better. I think wide receivers are still a topic of discussion, but they've made plays. Chimere Dike's made plays. Mason Kinsey's out there making plays now. Talking about the commitment to running the football, it is kind of a complete effort where the pieces are starting to gel and come together. And you're seeing the fruits of that in the scoring metrics.
Let's hit on this offensive line because I want your take on it because I know you're an offensive line guy. And if you guys want in on this discussion, come on in. 615-737-1045. But you know, their ability to run the football towards the end of the season. You know, people are like, oh, well, Cam Ward's looking better. I'm like, yeah, it's amazing what happens when you can actually run the football.
And you're committed to it.
And you're committed to it, and you're not one-dimensional. And maybe your offensive line has turned a little bit of a corner. I say little bit of a corner, but like Pollard had 18 carries for 85 yards yesterday, right? They quit running the ball late in the game or weren't able to, whatever you want to say. But from an offensive line standpoint, what have you liked as far as progress? What have you not still liked as far as struggles?
Yeah, so I still think you see moments in pass protections where maybe guys don't necessarily know. It's like they're not communicating. You know, if you think about you spread out in pass pro, you open up a hole, somebody attacks the middle of that. And the guy on the left might think the guy on the right's going to get it, but the guy on the right's thinking the guy on the left's going to get it.
Like,
and so then nobody
gets
it. I feel like it's one of those things, it's time on task. It's working together. It's kind of understanding your teammates, how they're going to move in certain situations. So I do still think there is room for this offensive line to continue to gel. But when it comes to what they're doing well, when they're running the ball, it feels like the run game has been simplified. And I've tried to dig down and figure out who exactly is calling the run game. And the answer I've gotten is that they don't necessarily have a run game coordinator in-house right now, but a lot of what's going on is Luke Stalker with the run game.
Okay.
And
tight end Luke Stalker?
Tight end Luke Stalker, yeah. Titans
Crazy,
legend.
isn't it?
Luke Stalker.
Love him.
So what they've done, and I asked Cosell about this when I was on 3HL with Brent a couple of months ago. What is it about the Bill Callahan run game that, you know, offensive linemen have to study and understand? Like, why? What is it? Is it complicated or what? He said it's not really complicated. It's more that there's every run in the book, in the playbook. So whatever concept, zone, gap, whatever you can run on an NFL field, it's in that playbook, and they will pull from that well on a week-to-week basis. And then it's all about communication. It's the offensive line communicating to one another how to execute this stuff. So that sounds well and good in theory, but the players weren't really executing it well. And it kind of looked like baby deer running for the first time. You know, it's like you got to get your legs beneath you before you can run that kind of stuff efficiently. And so it seems to me like with Luke Stalker in charge of the run game now, they've really simplified that playbook, whittled it down. I feel like they're running more zone running plays, which are more, you're not focused on all the moving parts of the guard's got to pull here, the tight end's going to come in and kick that blocker out, and all these moving parts. You're just moving together one direction, and it puts the onus on the running back to find the hole and make the cut. And so
block your man, rock on.
Yeah. And so that has been effective for them. So it does feel like a simplification of the run game, guys getting time on task together, is sort of this natural evolution of the offensive line gelling together and a simplification of scheme and the commitment to actually running the ball that has paid dividends for this run game.
And
in
Pollard
recent weeks.
doing his job too.
Tony Pollard, man, I just what a guy.
Yeah.
Like that he's a dog.
Yep.
Out there running as hard as he is still at this point in the season after last season as well. He and Derrick Henry, the only running backs to get 1,000 yards in each of the last 4 seasons.
Tony Pollard.
Put
him in a conversation with Derrick Henry. Look at that. What is his contract? I can't remember. He has another year?
One more year, yeah. So the perfect scenario to draft a Jeremiah Love out of Notre Dame and put him in the backfield together. And
he was in my top 3 Heisman votes.
So you and Zach have been talking about that clearly. That was what we started the show off with.
Zach and I have been talking about Jeremiah Love for probably 3 months now.
Yeah.
Just in the text, in the DMs, in the group chats.
Yeah, he's legit. Okay, let's take some calls, 615-737-1045. We'll start with Ozzy in Lebanon. Hey, Ozzy.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good, how are you?
Listen, good, doing good. Stony was talking about some stats, and I think when we talk about stats, for those who really want to know if Cam and this offense is trending upward, I think all you need to do is look at the last 6 games. And in looking at the last 6 games, you need to look at the defenses they've played. Tony, you may have this information. What I want to say is, in the first 8 games under both Callahans, he was sacked 34 times. In the last 6 games, he's been sacked 15 times, not counting yesterday. In his first 8 games, he had 5 touchdowns. In the last 6 games, he's had 6. One more thing I want to run through. 2 more things. Interceptions. Last 6 games, he's had 1. First 8 games, he had 6. Lost fumbles. First 8 games, 5. Last 6 games, 1. I think there's definitely a milestone in this season. Make of it what you will. But this team, after the last 6 games, they're not putting explosive offense out on the field. But we demand that they look better and they make changes, whether they be incrementally or larger. And when I look at the performance of Cam, even though it's still hard to watch the collapsing pocket, the escaping pocket, etc.,
and his lack of presence in it.
When you look at context and add the background to this, I see an offense that's getting better. I see a quarterback that's getting better. I know people are saying, let's talk about the 5 mistakes, turnover-worthy plays he almost had but didn't. Let's talk about it. But the fact of the matter is, you are in 2 meaningless games going forward. And if there's a time to teach him something, let's get it on tape. Let's set him down in practice or in the meetings and say, Cam, you see this right here? Don't do that ish again. You see this over here? Don't do that ish again. And begin to work with the guy. But from the stands and from the stats, it looks like they're trending up. I just wanted to share that. Thank you, guys. I'll hang up and listen.
Great call, Ozzy.
Yeah, I'm with Ozzy on that.
Great point. And we have talked about on this show repeatedly how good the defenses have been that the Titans have had to face.
Yeah.
And when you look at Cam, the difference, I mean, he just spit out all the numbers for us last 6 games compared to the first, 8 or whatever. But he's getting rid of the ball faster. He's, protection has gotten better. The fact that you actually have a run game helps tremendously as a quarterback. So all of those things, I think, play into it with Cam.
Yeah, and I would add, I think Ozzie pointed out something that's really important to consider when we're talking about perspective here is that you got to look at where the trends are in the NFL. Because if you're looking at big picture, all the totality of 2025, that's one thing, sure. If you're looking at the last several games, last handful of games, you can see the improvement. And what happened in September is practically last season at this point in the NFL. I mean, at this point, they've played so much football that you've got to kind of narrow the scope down a little bit. If you're still holding mistakes that Cam was making in September against him, I think it's gonna dilute the evaluation a little bit. Look at where he's at now.
Coaches say it all the time, like he's not a rookie anymore.
He's not a rookie
because
anymore.
you've played so many games or whatever. In college, by the time we get to postseason and bowl, like your true freshmen, they're not true freshmen anymore in coaches' minds. You know, when they've played.
And so if Cam is still looking like that Cam that we saw in September, maybe that's a problem, but he doesn't. And I think that's the encouraging thing that Ozzie was pointing out there is where the trends are taking this team. Where the trends are taking this team right now is up.
No doubt. All right, we'll get to more of your calls after this break, 615-737-1045. Actually, we've got Scott Ramsey coming up here. Nashville Sports Council, talk about the FCS championship that is here in town. So hang with us, callers, and starting the 4 o'clock hour, it will be all about you guys. This is 3HL 1045, The Zone. Stick around.
Brentwood Jewelry. BrentwoodJewelry.com is where you can go on your handheld devices, your laptops, wherever you can get some wireless service, people. 7012 Church Street East, located in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road. Now, that right there, that's a physical address. You can walk in there personally. And when you go in, tell the Momley family, we said what's up, and we sent you in there. For over 50 years, they've been coming with exceptional style, exceptional deals, and it's been happening every single day. Whether it's engagements, whether it's bracelets, earrings, whatever you can think of, any kind of little trinkets you got at home and you're trying to get them a little bit shinier. You want to pass them down, make them an heirloom. They can help you with that as well. And when it comes to watches, they are Nashville's premier timepiece dealer. That is who Brentwood Jewelry is. Not only do they have the best selection in watches, but they are also the go-to spot for pre-owned Rolexes, vintage or current models. Own a fine pre-owned Rolex for a fraction of the cost. Every watch has been meticulously serviced to ensure the highest level of performance and is presented with a 2-year warranty. So, hustle on in. Go to BrentwoodJewelry.com.
Welcome back in 3HL 1045 The Zone. We are so glad you're with us here on this Monday. We always talk about Nashville being the it city, the place where everything should hold their events and everybody needs to come here. I mean, it's just the best. Dawn Davenport, Stony, Keely with us, and we're going to talk about that with Scott Ramsey, Nashville Sports Council President and CEO. Hey, Scott, how are you?
I'm great, Dawn. How are you?
I am doing great. I am super excited for this event here in town on January 5th. It's the FCS National Championship for the first time in 17 years. It is not in Frisco, Texas. How did you make this change happen?
Well, we were pretty fortunate that the Frisco Stadium was doing a renovation, so the NCAA, who obviously operates the FCS championship game, bid it out, and we went to Vanderbilt. It was a right-sized stadium, and obviously, with the help of the city and everything, we put a bid in, and was successful against 10 other cities trying to host it, and we won a 2-year opportunity to do that, and
nice.
Couldn't be more excited, Dawn. I know you were at the semifinal game out in Montana, and I think the listeners, especially if you love college football, you will be way super impressed or really surprised about the level of quality of play that you'll see here and the passion that the fans have.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you about the passion that the fans have, okay? So I worked for ABC. I worked the semifinal Montana State. So it's like massive rivalry anyway. That place was jacked. I mean, the fan base, everybody, like they live for football, because you have to remember in Montana, they don't have a professional team. It is Montana or Montana State. That's what you grow up. You pick it as a kid, and you're not friends with whoever picked the other school growing up. It reminds me of like Alabama, Auburn, it is like football is everything there. And I was going to tell you, I'm sure you saw, Scott, that airlines were adding flights from Bozeman, Montana to Nashville because everything was sold out. So I saw United added a bunch of flights. Like, do you expect massive crowd?
Yes, we do. I think we're already, I probably shouldn't say this publicly, but I think we've already kind of surpassed the previous all-time record attendance for this. Now, obviously, we got a bigger stadium, so that it may be, a little bit of an asterisk on there. But, I think the last time I talked to the NCAA, we were over 23,000 tickets sold. And, I think when you look at it, everybody says that would be hard to do without North Dakota State, who's kind of the giant in FCS football, and Illinois State obviously upset them and kind of made their way through the bracket as kind of a Cinderella story. And I think they're going to bring a pretty passionate base as well, as it looks like. And you're right. I think they're filling up every flight possible from Bozeman coming in here. So I think our city's really going to be surprised about the type and the quality and the number of fans that are going to come experience our city for the first time.
Scott, I was telling Stony, Broadway better be ready because Montana State fans are going to drink them out of beer this week leading up to this game. They have fun. That is for sure.
They do, and I'm really looking forward to it. I just think it's going to be, and I think the special thing is we've only had one national championship crowned here in Nashville in my 30-year tenure here, and that was the 2014 Women's Final Four. So to crown a national champion is something really special, and obviously it'd be a memory that these kids will have forever, and we're hoping to do a great job of kind of creating those memories. We got the bowl game tomorrow, and we turn Opryland Hotel from the Music City Bowl to the FCS, and the teams roll in on Friday, and I think the experience at Opryland Hotel and all it has to offer, and then to see the renovated Vanderbilt Stadium and everything is going to really create a great platform for the championship.
I was going to ask you about Vanderbilt Stadium. So I did not get to work a Vandy game this year, so I have not been in there for a game. But just hit me on I've heard people rave about what it has turned into. Hit me on the venue and how perfect it's going to be for this game.
Yeah, they've been at Frisco around 20,000, been selling out, Dawn, last 13 years in a row outside of COVID when they were limited. So we really had the opportunity to kind of grow it from the 20,000 number, and not only that, but to offer a lot more premium than the soccer facility had in Frisco. So, all the kudos go to Candace. I mean, what a great vision for that one end zone, and the clubs and the suites, and just the way it's a lot more enclosed now. It really creates a great environment, and I think it's going to be a great platform for the players.
I cannot wait. It's going to be fun. I'll be working that game for Westwood One Radio, so that'll be awesome. Another big event, obviously, Music City Bowl. How excited are we with that matchup coming in here?
Well, I mean, I think we all know the flux that postseason college football is in right now, especially from a traditional bowl seat that we're in. But I couldn't think of a better matchup. You got SEC, you got Big Ten, you got 2 8-win teams, you got 2 coaches that are stable in their schools. You got both quarterbacks that are going to play, and we got 2 great fan bases that are going to roll in here. And we got a brand new sponsor in Liberty Mutual, which chose to invest in our city and our bowl game. And I think when you put SEC, Big Ten, ESPN, and Liberty Mutual and Nashville together, we really feel good about where we are now. Who knows where college football is going to go postseason? But I feel like, as you know, that Nashville is going to be aggressive, and we're going to be at least trying to put ourselves in the best position possible going forward. But for tomorrow, I think we're going to really see a competitive game. We had both coaches do a press conference today, and they both seem really comfortable. So I hope we see a really close, competitive game tomorrow.
Hey, Scott, Stony here. Nice to meet you. I'm just curious, like the Music City Bowl has become such a staple of the Nashville sports scene throughout the years. Do you have any like favorite memories, a favorite matchup of yours that comes to mind right away when you think about this game and what it means to Nashville?
Well, there's a lot, Stony, to be honest with you. I still go back to our very first game. We were talking today. It's hard to believe that next year will be the final bowl game in Nissan Stadium. And I was telling Austin Mitchell, the director of events at Nissan, after we had our meeting today, I was like, well, our first game was before you built this thing. So we were at Vanderbilt in 1998 as we were building the Nissan Stadium. So to see it go through a complete iteration of the stadium, I think there's been a lot. Certainly people point to some of the great players we've had, from Eli Manning to Lamar Jackson to Myles Garrett to Leonard Fournette to, Pick'em. I mean, we've had some great – Derek Barnett set the sack record for Tennessee a few years ago. So, I mean, we've had some great ones. I think the Notre Dame-LSU game with a walk-off field goal was probably one of the more memorable ones. Certainly North Carolina, awesome. Tennessee. Which we had a controversial ending that really added the 10-second runoff rule after that game. Because
I wasn't going to bring that one up for the Vols fans. The Vols fans listening.
I mean, you look back, it was crazy, and to think it kind of really led to a rule change is something that you certainly put in your memory bank. And then the last time Tennessee was here, again, ended controversially, but. We set an all-time attendance record in Nissan Stadium at 69,000 plus, and then overtime games that had what seemed like 8 million total yards of offense between Purdue and Tennessee that year. Was everything you could dream of for a bowl game. So, I think we really feel good about where we are. Yes, we know that there's a lot of decisions to be made in postseason, but we feel really confident with our city and our partners, and we'll see where it goes.
Love it. Scott, can't wait for tomorrow. Can't wait for this FCS game. It's going to be a good few weeks here in Nashville. Appreciate you.
Yeah, no, Dawn. I saw you on the sidelines there, and I shot you that text because I'm like, you need to bring all those Montana State people with you. And the way it looks now, I think you did.
They coming. Oh, yeah. They were on their phones booking travel in the stands after that game. Like, I was walking up to leave the game, and literally somebody was like, hey, what flight do you want? I'm like, oh, my gosh, I love these people. Yeah. I love these people.
Well, I think one of the things we ought to be proud of, especially your listeners here of Nashville, is how much people really love coming to our city.
Yeah.
And here's a brand new event. And certainly, Montana State, Montana folks may come here on a tourism kind of play, but not like the reason they're coming this time to win a championship and follow their team. And I think our city is going to be a great host for them.
I absolutely agree. And it's going to be fun. So, tickets, where can people go if they want to enjoy like college football in its purest form with no opt outs and no talk of what they're making and whatever else?
Yeah, well, I mean, we saw some tickets left for tomorrow too. So that's on SeatGeek at Nissan for the bowl, and then for the NCAA for the FCS championship, you need to jump on the NCAA website. They handle all the tickets for that, and I think it's NCAA.com, and you can navigate you around for the FCS championship. But yeah, it would be worth a purchase of a ticket to see that national championship game at Vanderbilt. It'd be a great environment, and if you love college football, it's going to be a good one.
I love it. Scott Ramsey, Nashville Sports Council President. Appreciate you, Scott. I'll see you soon.
Thanks, Don. We'll see you later.
Okay. Talk to you later. There you go. God, he brought up some of the great Music City Bowls. I remember that LSU Notre Dame one. I worked radio for it. It was Les Miles, Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
I mean, how crazy is that?
That was a big matchup that season.
Huge matchup.
I was at that game. They had Leonard Fournette on kick return. The house one.
Yeah.
The house one. It was crazy.
Oh, that was nuts. How old were you, Ross?
I don't know, but my Brentwood Blaze team won the championship, so we were on the field before the game. So I was young. I think I was like 5th grade.
There's an age for you. God, I'm freaking old.
Are you saying, Ross, that you stood on the field as a champion at the Music City Bowl?
That is right. I mean,
you'll always have that.
You'll always have that.
The peak of my athletic days that's what that was.
Love it. All right, we got to take a quick break. 4 o'clock hour is coming up here on 104.5 The Zone. This is 3HL with Don Davenport and Stony Keely. Stick around.
All right, listen up now. If your back's barking, your neck's stiff, and your hips feel like they've been through a full court press, well, it's time to slay that pain. The Joint Chiropractic of Middle Tennessee, they got 17 locations open all day, evenings, and weekends, so you can roll in whenever. No insurance, no worries. Walk in, no appointment needed, people. New patients, you're getting the consultation, the exam, and the adjustment for $29. And after that, adjustments as low as $18. Now that, people, is an easy layup or slam dunk, if you will. Headaches, back pain, neck pain, whatever's slowing you down, the Joint's got your back, literally. Go to thejoint.com to find your spot. Get in, get adjusted, and back to living. Joint Chiropractic of Middle Tennessee.
Good afternoon from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Ross Johnston. It was a tale of two halves yesterday as the Titans fell to the Saints 34-26. After leading 20-10 at the half, Cam Ward went 21 of 40 for 251 yards and 2 touchdowns to Chig Okonkwo and Alec Io Manor. Also, Big Jeff had another outstanding performance with a sack, which gave him double-digit sacks for the season, marking the first time he's done so during his career. The NFL's 2 win-and-get-in games are set, starting with the Buccaneers hosting the Panthers on Saturday at 3:30 Central. The winner of that game will take home the NFC South title. And on the flip side, the Pittsburgh Steelers host the Ravens on Sunday Night Football next week. The winner of that game will take home the AFC North. The Steelers will still be without DK Metcalf in the game, and the Ravens are still unsure about the status of their quarterback, Lamar Jackson. Lastly, the Tennessee Volunteers play their final game of the 2025 season tomorrow in Nashville as they take on Illinois in the Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl, with kickoff set for 4:30 at Nissan Stadium. You can listen to Vol Network's coverage of the game tomorrow right here on The Zone after Cover 2. For all your foundation repair, waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Happy Monday to you. Welcome to 3HL. Dawn Davenport. No Brent, no Slade. They are working and on vacation and having a big old time, but that's okay. I brought in the ringer. The ringer. Backup QB over here.
Hey, I'll take it.
Stony Keely, what up?
I might even get to be in an insurance commercial or something like that, too. You know, they got that campaign where they got the backup quarterbacks in there.
That's right.
Maybe I can parlay this into a little financial success.
There you go. Yeah, make it work. Isn't Megan Trainor in one of those or something too?
Yeah, she is. Yeah, and I've completely forgotten about Megan Trainor.
I know, until that commercial.
It's good for Megan Trainor getting back
for
out there.
Megan.
Yeah.
All right, we're glad you're with us here on this December 29th, and it is a Monday. If you're like me, you have no idea what day it is.
Nope.
I was doing coaches calls for my Las Vegas Bowl coming up, and Coach Rule at Nebraska was like, okay, great, see you on Wednesday, whatever. And I'm like, Wednesday? What's he talking about? Oh, the game's on Wednesday. So weird. I think all of us are like, we don't know what day it is. But hey, you are with us on 3HL, live from the 104.5 The Zone Circuit Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs, too. By the way, not very far from here. Awesome. So go visit. Give a little love to some of our sponsors here on this show. All right, welcome in 4 o'clock hour. So we were talking before the show, Stony, at just, big picture with the Titans, like, okay, turning things around. We're seeing some progress, maybe some things from Cam that can show that he is the franchise quarterback. And we brought up, playoffs this year, which they won't be a part of, and some of the teams that have made like these great turnarounds. And the playoffs start early too. Yeah,
we get playoff action early this week. Panthers-Bucks is essentially a playoff game. So is Ravens-Steelers.
Panthers-Bucks. Panthers.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Panthers were dead.
Yeah, a couple of years ago.
The franchise was done.
Laughing stock, and everybody said Bryce Young is a bust, and you gave up all those picks for him, and then Dave Canales, they were talking about being one and done, and now they're really seeing the fruits of their labor.
Lo and behold.
Yeah, they look like they're better than the Bucks right now, which is crazy to say.
Can we make a comparison to where they were and that franchise to where the Titans are and the Titans franchise? I mean, is it close enough to compare?
Yeah, I think so. And I think that's there's an idea here that, well, the Titans can just turn things around quickly because XYZ did. And you look at teams like the Patriots, the Jaguars, the Bears, the Panthers, even in this discussion. And I think there's a natural inclination to want that. But my hot take on the concept of the quick turnaround is that most of these turnarounds weren't actually as quick as they seem. The situation in Carolina specifically, I mean, you're talking about, like, we're on, is it year 3 of Bryce Young, year 2 of Dave Canales, and
is it 3
4,
for Bryce? Yeah.
23, 24, 25.
Wow.
Yeah. So you're talking about ingredients that need to simmer together for a little bit. They've done a really good job of supplanting talent across that roster, getting them to a competitive state. And so you look at the key ingredients for all of these situations. It's getting the quarterback, it's getting the play caller, the head coach, getting the roster set. Those 3 things, when you get those to merge, that's when you're in that sweet spot. And that's where you start to see things gain momentum like they are in Jacksonville, Chicago, and Carolina. New England is the only one that I would argue is like a true one-season turnaround. But they went out, they got the head coach, the offensive coordinator, and they rebuilt the roster through free agency and a pretty good draft class in one season. And then you had Drake May in year 2 as the franchise quarterback that's playing at an MVP level. I feel like that's kind of an outlying case. I don't think you're going to have too many off seasons where you hit on the head coach, you hit on the offensive coordinator, you've got the quarterback, and every move you make in free agency just about pans out.
Well, and that's
your
been the
draft
Titans'
picks.
problem
Yeah.
the last couple of years.
But if you look at these other situations, even in Chicago, they had done a decent job building the roster. And then they go get Caleb Williams and they add to it. And then things kind of fall apart. Well, there's a Ben Johnson waiting in the wings. So then you pair Ben Johnson with Caleb Williams and a roster that has some underrated talent to it. Surprise, surprise, all of a sudden they're good. Similar kind of thing with Carolina. When you look at 2023, they add Bryce Young. 2024, they get Dave Canales. Those ingredients come together. Now the Panthers are making a playoff push. So to tie this back to the Titans, I think if you look at these key ingredients that you need, play caller, head coach, whether it's, an offensive head coach that's also calling the plays, or it's a defensive head coach that hires a hotshot offensive coordinator that can get this offense in a rhythm, get it going. That's the missing piece that you need right now. And you think you have the quarterback in Cam Ward. And you look at the last 2 draft classes, because I would include Rand's 2024 class as being pretty decent.
Pretty good, yeah.
J.C. Latham, Tavondre Sweat, Cedric Gray, James Williams, Jalen Harrell has quietly strung together a few good games. And we know everybody's raving about Mike Borgonzi's first draft class with Ward, Winston, the 2 receivers,
DK,
Marcus
yeah.
Harris. Yeah. So you think, okay, there's a foundation to build the roster. If you can keep that going, and if you have the quarterback, then you add the coaching aspect to this thing, and all of a sudden, that's when you kind of ignite this comeback, this return to relevance for the Titans. And that's where I do kind of feel like it puts the magnifying glass on this coaching hire, because if you get it right, suddenly you have all of the ingredients for one of these quick turnaround situations. And that's what you want, right?
Yeah.
But if you get it wrong, how long is it going to set you back? Are you going to fire another coach after 1 year, or is this going to be a situation where
you can't?
You're kind of floundering a little bit for a couple of years before you go find the guy? I don't know. That's why I think this off season is massive for this organization and where they're at right now to make this decision. It's one of, man, I can't remember the last time they had a decision this big that the ramifications of who they hire as head coach, it's kind of what this turnaround hinges upon right now.
Yeah, no doubt. And you mentioned kind of the roster construction around, you look at New England. Well, first of all, Titans have some really good young players.
Yeah, they do.
Really good young players, really good value in those young players. So from a roster construction standpoint, all of a sudden you're in a much better place with what those young guys have been able to do this year and what you can rely on. And money-wise, you have plenty of money to fix things.
Yeah, for sure.
But from a roster construction around, I think you mentioned the Patriots and you mentioned they hit on the coach and the OC and whatever else. But people forget what they did to surround Drake May with what he needed this year for him to be successful. Because honestly, when you watched Drake May last year, now I loved him when he was at Carolina, but when you watched him last year, did you think this he's legit? He's going to be the guy.
I didn't. No. And I wasn't as big of a fan of him at North Carolina. I thought there were some issues with hero ball, kind of trying to do a little too much, forcing
does that
plays.
sound familiar, Cam?
So when he got to the league and didn't find immediate success, I wasn't ready to call him a bust. I don't like that word anyway. And I feel like
especially not after 1 year.
Yeah, like we can go down a huge rabbit hole here about quarterback development. The college game, I don't think, is necessarily set up and constructed for quarterbacks to develop while they're there these days. And so guys are a little further away from where they need to be by the time they make it to the NFL in the modern game. So I say that to say most of these rookies, I think, in the modern NFL, they're going to take some time to get to where they need to be. And to watch Drake May in 2024, it wasn't a case where it was so bad that I thought, oh boy, they're in trouble. They've made the wrong decision. But I did kind of think he was one of those cases where it's going to take 3 or 4 years before he's where he's at. But then you get the coordinator hire right. You add some weapons around him. You get a run game going. And all of a sudden, boom, he is maybe the best deep ball thrower in the NFL this season.
I have a great example of the college to pro transition at the quarterback position.
Ooh, okay.
So we'll talk about, because I just worked Minnesota for a bowl game. And so it was very interesting to listen to the conversations. I'll fill you in on that. We got to take a quick break, but we'll do that. We'll talk about some of these rookie quarterbacks who have had success, and we will dive into Cam Ward's day as well.
Let's do it.
Yes. Coming up next on 3HL 104.5 The Zone. All right, chilly winter temps are back, right? And you don't want to leave your wealth management goals out in the cold. Do you like that? You like how I tied that together? That's why you need to call Trajan Wealth. I've talked about Trajan Wealth for a little bit now, but I want to tell you that they make retirement planning simple. I know I met with them. I went through the entire process so that I could tell you about it. There's no pressure. There's no confusing jargon that they use. It's just clear. It's honest advice from fiduciaries who put your goals first. They have to. And they will make you feel more confident, more prepared, and honestly relieved that you are ready for retirement, or you will be ready when that time comes. If you ever wondered if your plan could be better, if you want a second opinion, then give Trajan Wealth a call and let them be your partner in your financial wealth journey. Call them for a complimentary consultation, 615-270-5000. They've got offices in Brentwood and Franklin, and you can always go online and learn more about my friends at Trajan Wealth at TrajanWealth.com. Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, SEC registered investment advisor, client paid advertisement, additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com. side of the LBC. That's what I'm talking about, Ross. That's what I'm talking about.
DJ Mojo Rojo in the booth.
I know this is Dawn's song.
This
so
is my song.
I love this song as well. So I had to play.
So Stony Keely here with us, filling in for the boys. This is my karaoke song.
Really?
But if I drink too much and try to sing it, it's a disaster. Because if you ever listen to the background of Warren G regulators, all it is the same beat.
It is.
From the start of the song
Just
to the end.
Ride it out. Yeah.
So if you get lost and you
find
mess
your way back.
you're done.
Yeah.
You're done.
Man.
So we are going to have a 3HL karaoke night. I have already talked to Rich, our promotions guy. I've put the ball rolling here, where we'll go somewhere, we'll do the show, and then afterwards we'll have the listener karaoke night.
Oh, that sounds like a great time.
It's happening. I don't know if management is really all that excited about it happening, but I have set the steps in motion, and it's happening.
Here's my question, Dawn. Does management have to know about this?
Well, I want them to, pay for it.
Let's just do it. Okay.
I want them to take,
I got you. Yeah.
So we it has to be a station thing because
I hear you.
We want it to be an event.
Yeah.
We got to do it right.
Just Nobody Claim Africa by Toto. That's my song.
That's your song?
Yeah. That's the only song I've ever karaoke.
You're quick with that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Ross, what's your song?
Oh no, y'all asked me that like last week, and
I know because you better
something by Rihanna probably.
Oh geez. Okay. This is good.
I think the next time I'm on the stage somewhere, I'm going to take a stab at Genuine's Pony.
Oh, that's a good one.
I've got the hips
I'll
to
sing
pull that
backup
song
for
off.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, I can
sing
do.
backup.
We can turn it Magic Mike style, and I'll,
Oh my
if we
gosh.
need to get the crowd going.
I'm sure management listening to this is like,
Yeah,
oh, boy.
they really want to pay for it now.
I'm trying to get it
they're like,
greenlit. I'm trying to get it greenlit.
Yes.
We'll get social clips out of it.
There we go.
Bustin' Diamond. Dawn, are you switching your mind back into freak mode? That's right. Let's go. That's right. All right, we'll get to some of your calls. Oh, Mike and Old Hickory, we'll get to you here in a second. But first, I wanted to cap off our conversation talking about the rookie quarterbacks. And you brought up a great point about, the transition to the NFL when you talk about NFL-style offenses. Like, we can all remember the Gruden with Jackson Dart, and Gruden's like, really? You just clap? That's it? Like, there's that's your play call? Clap? So it's funny because we covered Minnesota last week. They run a true, pure NFL style offense. And listen, you can say what you want about PJ Fleck. He's put a lot of guys in the pros. He really has. I know he hasn't won the big ones there at Minnesota, and he's in year 9 now, but he has put a lot of talent in the pros. And so I was talking to their redshirt freshman quarterback, so basically freshman quarterback, Drake Lindsay. And I was like, give me an example of like the difficulty in learning this offense because it is an NFL, a pro style offense, right? And I was like, give me a play call, whatever. So he gave me a play call from last year. Him and Max were together.
Yeah.
And so he gives me a play call. Stony, it's 30 words. And I'm not being sarcastic.
No.
Legit 30 words. Blah, 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 27, kill this, da-da-da-da, alert, whatever. 30 freaking syllables in this play call, which just gives you an absolute understanding of where you go from a guy like Jackson Dart going to the NFL and having to learn that kind of stuff, and a guy who's in a pro-style offense in college who already knows the huddle and play calls and memorizes them and knows that, But Jackson's done great.
Yeah, and you look at like what Mike Kafka's doing with him right now, leaning into the things that he does well. He makes plays with his legs. He's a nice runner, nifty runner. I think he's doing a good job of kind of masking some of the deficiencies where Dart still has to develop as a quarterback. And
it's pretty simple for him, right? Do people realize that? Like, he's not going through like 4 progressions, is he?
You look at like the Ole Miss offense that he was in, and this was a big topic of discussion when Malik Willis was coming out of the draft as well.
Same thing.
The Liberty offense is the same kind of thing. It's like you got wide receivers that are running a ton of go routes or hitches, whatever, stopping at various depths, but the read is basically for the quarterback is like you're looking for a target. If he's open, throw it. If he's not, run. That was the case with Malik Willis. Like I heard scouts at the Senior Bowl talking about that, literally saying, oh, well, all that Liberty offense was like one read and go kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And Lane Kiffin's offense in Ole Miss is kind of similar in that regard. So not only is it the play call stuff where you have guys that are like just looking to the sideline and it's hand signals or it's the big poster board with all the pictures on it, that sort of thing. You're going from that to a 30-word play call that the quarterback has to learn, but you're talking about guys that aren't operating an offense under center. They're in shotgun. So you have to get used to that. You're talking about like operating a huddle, getting the play call in, the operational aspect of playing quarterback that has kind of come into the conversation in recent years because these guys are doing a lot of stuff like Dart and Willis were doing. So to go to a program like Minnesota where they're kind of training guys to play quarterback at the NFL level, that's why so many scouts were high on Max Brosmer, who hasn't looked that great for the Vikings, maybe not the most talented guy, but from the neck up, going through that program readied him for the NFL to the point where he could get up to speed from a cerebral perspective faster than maybe a Jackson Dart. Like maybe I would put it like this. Maybe Kevin O'Connell can go out there and run his offense through Max Brosmer because Brosmer's ready for it, mentally prepared for it. Whereas a guy like Dart is more of, hey, we got to lean into his strengths because he's not ready to do this just yet.
Yeah, which eventually will catch up with him if he doesn't get ready to do that.
We're seeing it with Malik Willis now.
Perfect example.
The game that he had in Green Bay where, we're talking about, what is it, like year 4 or 5 for Malik Willis at this point? And now he's getting the live reps in an offense that works for him. Great surrounding. I'll give him that, but it's still on him to go out there and execute. And right now he's executing for the Green Bay Packers to the point now where people are saying, wow, should this guy be starting somewhere in 2026? Yeah. And he may get the chance to do that.
The Titans got rid of him.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
This is what happens when you leave the Titans. You go and succeed elsewhere.
But he's got all the talent in the world, and now we're finally starting to see the game slow down for him. And from a processing operation standpoint, he's catching up.
So you mentioned Max from Minnesota, that kind of pro-style offense. Well, that's what Louisville did with Tyler Shuck.
Yeah.
And then you look at his success. I loved him. I worked some of his games last year. Loved him at Louisville. And then he got this bad rap for injuries and whatever else, where his injuries were not like things that you needed to be concerned with long term. You know, it wasn't like ligament stuff or arm stuff. It wasn't, soft tissue stuff. It was like broken clavicle and broken leg and just freak broken bones,
Yeah.
So I felt like he got a bad rap kind of coming out.
Yeah,
but
sure.
then you saw what he did yesterday.
Yeah, with him, it was like the age concerns too. They're like, oh, well, he's
old.
He's old. He's 26 years old or something like that. And so you're right. You kind of sour on a prospect. And I think that was a case where the NFL GMs kind of got in their own head a little bit, thinking about all the reasons not to take him instead of just focusing on the fact that he could throw a pretty damn good deep ball.
Yeah.
He can read a defense. He can go through progressions. He can operate an offense.
Part of his age thing was because he did have those injuries where he would have to miss a year.
He was one of the more NFL-ready guys in this quarterback class, but I feel like he was overlooked for the first round because teams wanted the upside. Mm-hmm. And you look at Cam Ward, the upside that he has, Dart, the upside that he has. Dart is super talented from just a pure arm standpoint, legs, like physical gifts. He checks all the boxes.
California cool.
And Shuck didn't necessarily have those, but he was the guy. I kind of compare him to a guy like Davis Mills, who was drafted by the Texans. His tape at Stanford, it was like, this dude knows how to play cornerback. And he's got the arm to do it. We're going to give him a chance until maybe we can get the higher upside guy. I wouldn't be surprised if that's Shuck's floor in the NFL. So he's a guy that's going to stabilize the Saints, and then maybe they take some Manning kid on down the line somewhere. But I really like Shuck's game. He's ready for the NFL.
Finally looks better.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, Shuck, 22 of 27, 333 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Titans yesterday. A lot of talk about Titans quarterbacks. Before we jump into Cam Ward, Let's let Mike in Old Hickory jump in if you want in 615-737-1045. Hey, Mike, happy Monday to you. Do we have positive Mike in Old Hickory or negative Mike in Old Hickory?
Well, I'll tell you, and I think there's some positive.
Okay, I love it.
Yep. And so, look, I hope you guys are having a good holiday period. But this is going to be a very, very technical question to you guys because it's making my brain scramble, which happens a lot. But anyway, we're playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, right?
Yep.
This weekend. They are in the playoffs. And I think they're playing if they beat us for home field advantage for Jacksonville. Is that correct?
Yes.
Or at least one game. Or a bye even. Now, if they do that, that means we lose. So if we lose, then we may have a chance to still get the number one pick in the draft next year. But if we win, we are guaranteed to probably lose it. So if we lose and then we end up tied with, say, Arizona or the Jets or whatever this last weekend is going to be a riot because it's a lot of things are going to change and who wins, who loses, points, and whatever. But let's say the Titans end up tied for last place with one or two other teams. Who then makes the pick to get the number one pick next year? And then my last question is, the coach that's going to be coming in to coach Cam Ward, and quite frankly, I'm keeping Cam Ward. He's our number one pick. The kid played every down this year so far, didn't get injured. He's improved in some areas. Yes, he's a rookie quarterback, made a lot of mistakes, but I'm keeping him. So if the coach that comes in next year and Cam's going to have to deal with a brand new coach, is that coach going to say, I want to come to Tennessee with a number one pick next year so I can use that as tradable picks? Yep. Or I'm not going to come to Tennessee, which means we may lose out on a better coach. So it gets technical with all this in the off season. But what I'm saying is it going to be better for us to lose next week for tactical purposes, for trading and getting a new head coach? And I'll say it again, I'm keeping Cam Ward. He was our number one pick, and I want to see that kid succeed because I think he's tried.
All right. Thank you, Mike and Old Hickory. Your draft pick, whether you're 1, 2, whatever, that's not going to affect your head coaching hire at all.
No, I think at this point, Cam Ward is probably a selling point for any potential head coach.
Like, oh, hey, this is what you
coach
can
this guy.
do. Yeah. So since the Titans, and you might know this better than I do, but so Titans are 3-13. I think with a loss against the Jags, they could possibly move up to number 2.
Yeah.
To the number 2 pick again.
I think that's as high as they can go.
Yeah, I think one is out, which it doesn't matter. They don't need a quarterback. Yeah. The only plus of being in the 2 spot is the ability to trade back and get more picks, which is what I have sold the back half of this year, which is why people come at me and they're like, you don't play the game to lose the game. I'm like, I know, but like I look at it with so many holes that the Titans need to fill. And granted, like the rookies have showed a lot this year to where you feel good about some of your spots, but there's a lot of holes that need to be filled through the draft for this Titans team. So I look at it as, okay, hey, you lose to the Jags, you move up to the number 1 pick, you can trade back and get, a boatload of picks to help build your roster.
Yeah, I'm in agreement wholeheartedly there. To Mike's question about where the Jags would finish, there is still a scenario where with some help, they could theoretically get the number 1 seed in the AFC still. So they will be playing. And
oh, really? Yeah.
As far as strategy goes, I think the way the Jags are playing right now, I don't think you have to come up with some crazy strategy to lose that game. I think the Jags are perfectly capable of beating this Titans team without any help.
Agreed.
As far as the question of is it better to lose this week or not, I do think it depends on what you're looking for. I mean, if you want the draft pick, obviously lose the game, and with some help, you can probably climb in the rankings. I will say for team trade down, it's probably a better scenario to leapfrog a team like the New York Jets, who might be looking for a quarterback. Figure the Raiders are going to get the top pick. Thinking Mendoza's probably going to be the guy. But in this quarterback class, unless Ty Simpson declares, and even he's cooled off a little bit, it's a two-horse race. And Dante Moore from Oregon still hasn't even declared yet. So if you climb, it increases your odds because somebody's going to want to jump ahead of the Jets to get the quarterback. If there's scarcity, if there's only two guys, one goes first overall, then maybe you're in a fortuitous position where you can accumulate the draft picks. If not, I don't know. I mean, we do see teams trade up. Just last year, the Jags traded up for Travis Hunter. So it could be a different player that you're trading up for, but I will say the further you are down in the pecking order, the less likely you are to get a real haul for those draft picks. So I can understand the spirit of wanting this team to lose, at least to Mike's question, to get more of those draft picks. But I don't know. I'm old fashioned. I want to win the game. I want to spoil the Jags season. I want to keep them from winning the top seed, maybe even the number one in the AFC South. There's still a scenario where the Texans could win it. So that's kind of where I'm at. I just want some good vibes headed into the offseason.
I don't. I want good vibes as in you're going to get a boatload of draft capital because somebody's going to want a quarterback. And to your point, too, nowadays with college and NIL, I mean, the going rate for a good quarterback is like, what, $5 to $9 mil a year?
Yeah.
You're not going to make that as a rookie in the NFL. Like, I would stay. I would stay forever as long as I can in college.
Absolutely.
Make the money and go. Quick question before we break. Do you think Mendoza is going to be a good NFL quarterback?
I haven't gotten there with him just yet. I think he's a really good pure thrower of the football. I think he's got some sound mechanics. He can move around, extend plays. He can do the things from a processing standpoint that you look for out of a quarterback. But I don't know that there's one trait that I've watched of his so far that has made me think, wow, this guy's a difference maker at the next level. He's very average across the board would be my read on him so far.
That was my take when he was at Cal.
Yeah.
But then, with what's surrounding him and whatever else, you didn't really know what to make of him when he was at Cal.
I will say this might be a bit of a hot take, but I think if Dante Moore declares for the draft, I think he's the better quarterback than Mendoza.
Mel Kiper would agree.
I will not.
Oh, don't tell me that. That makes me feel worse about my take.
Oh, now you're done.
I do love me some Dante Moore, though. I think he's going to be good.
I wouldn't argue with that.
Just real quick, too, since y'all mentioned the Jags could get the 1 seed potentially. So the Broncos, if they beat the Chargers, they do get the 1 seed. And Jim Harbaugh said today Justin Herbert is not going to play, and I assume some other starters. So Denver more than likely is going to wrap up the 1 seed in the AFC.
Okay.
Yeah, so
there you go.
There we go.
Yes. All right. We'll take a quick break, and then we're going to dive into Cam Ward because my text chains, so I have different group text chains, and one of them is my ESPN crew, one's the 3HL crew, one's like the family crew. Every text chain had a different take on Cam Ward and his performance yesterday. It was crazy.
The experience so far.
It sure is. So we're going to talk about it. That's next, 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
What's happening, y'all? Growing up in the Nashville area, my love for Shoney's, that's where it started. I grew up on Shoney's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it's still one of my favorite places to enjoy a delicious meal. Shoney's is proud to serve you always fresh, always delicious dishes, any time of the day, fit for any craving. From all you care to eat fresh food bar to a delicious meal from Shoney's extensive menu. You can get classics like the Slim Jim sandwich, All-American burger, baked spaghetti, and breakfast served all day long. Make sure you top it off with a slice of their signature strawberry pie, or my favorite, the world-famous hot fudge cake. Plus, if you're on the go with the kids, sports, and school events this busy season, you can let Shoney's do the cooking. Just take it all to go or place an order for delivery on Shoney's.com. Whatever fits your busy schedule, Shoney's has got you covered with comforting, family-friendly service. They call it Southern hospitality with a twist. So make sure you come on back to Shoney's during your favorite time of the year, which is right now. Stop by any Shoney's 4 locations in Middle Tennessee. That's Clarksville, Dixon, Lebanon, and on Donaldson Pike in Nashville. It's Shoney's. Let's eat.
Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. That's where you need to go to get that next new vehicle. Whether you're looking for a car, truck, SUV, or Jeep, new or pre-owned, these are your guys, and they can help you out. Daniel Gupton and his crew are ready to help you out. Just let them know what you're looking for, and they'll point you in the right direction. Take your test drive, go inside. They will help make the numbers work, and it will be that easy. That's Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, 3450 Tom Austin Highway in beautiful Springfield, Tennessee, about 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. Check them out online, GuptonMotors.com. All the dealership information is there. Address, phone number, inventory, new and pre-owned. They have a tremendous pre-owned vehicle selection, and you can see it all right there, whether you need a car, truck, SUV, Jeep, or a Sprinter van as well, right there online, GuptonMotors.com. All the deals they have going on now at Gupton right there as well, GuptonMotors.com. Again, 3450 Tom Austin Highway in beautiful Springfield, Tennessee, about 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. Best vehicle buying experience you will have ever had. That's Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram.
Happy Monday. Welcome back to 3HL on 104.5 The Zone. Dawn Davenport with you. Slay and Mayor are off gallivanting around, traveling, doing all the things. Ross is behind the glass. Zeph is also off. Everybody's just taking vacation. But luckily, I've got Stony Keely in here.
Yeah, I'm still around.
Somebody's got to work.
Rocks. Somebody's got to work.
Gotta work.
Stoney's like, all right, I'm in. Let's go. I'm bored.
Yeah, let's do it.
Tired of watching Titans film? Come talk about it here.
Yeah.
3HL. So we were, first of all, in the break, we were talking about the Sugar Bowl because we'll have Chris Lowe on at 5:20. And the spread right now is Georgia by 6.5 over Ole Miss.
That's kind of wild. I mean, I feel like
I thought that was heavy.
Yeah, Ole Miss has a little momentum going here. And what's crazy is it kind of feels like Georgia, as a national title contender, has been a little slept on this season.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Like, that's almost a touchdown. That's a lot. I don't feel like there's a whole lot that separates these two teams right now.
I wonder how much of it is just coaching, Kiffin gone and whatever else, and who's going to be there and who's poaching and whatever.
It's what they can get the public to bet.
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But Vegas always knows. I'm about to go to Vegas. I'm sure I'll leave some of my money there.
Did y'all see that?
That'd be great.
They gave Indiana's 7-point favorites over Alabama. And Zach and I were talking last week, and Blaine, kind of like Alabama to win the game. I don't know if they will, but
no, I don't.
Man.
I mean,
but see, I'm jaded because, and I know it was a less healthy Alabama team, but I worked that SEC championship game and they looked awful.
And that's the last time you've really seen them up close.
That's the That's the one time I've saw them in person. Now, granted, Jam Miller didn't play.
Yeah.
They had a couple offensive linemen that weren't there.
Yeah, there's a fun conspiracy theory out there about, they knew they were in the playoffs, so they're just going to rest all these guys.
But then again, did they really know? I mean, we thought there should be absolutely no chance you get left out if you make the SEC title game. But there was a contingency out there that was saying that they looked like crap and they should have been left out.
I was about to say, I mean, after that game, it's hard to make the case that they looked like one of the 12 best teams in the country.
But they didn't have a bunch of guys. But that being said, I think IU rolls them.
Ooh.
It's just always interesting to me when you have a team that's had this much time off. How do they look? Because Bama is definitely not a better team, but they've played a game more recently and won.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know. It feels weird to me that they're 7-point favorites.
It's kind of weird to think about how Indiana was able to grind it out against Ohio State in the Big Ten championship and running the ball and playing defense and that sort of thing. And that not being an advantage for an Alabama team. Like, if they get into that kind of game, is Alabama going to be able to run the ball and push Indiana around? I think that's a really interesting question that kind of feels like we're in the twilight zone with all the years we spent talking about how Nick Saban's Alabama team was able to run the ball and play defense and all that. But I do think they've got some firepower on offense. Yeah. And if they start clicking, I don't know, I don't feel like Alabama's defense has gotten enough credit for the season that they've had and how they've gotten better since that loss to Florida State. If they could start making some plays, both sides of the ball, I think it could be a closer game than that spread would indicate for sure.
Yeah. It's interesting you brought the time off up too, because I was chatting with Stormy Bonatoni, who was the sideline reporter for Oregon JMU.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, what, anything interesting from your game, fill me in or whatever. And she was talking about how Lanning felt like that long layoff killed them.
Really?
And so he legit had his team do a fake game, even though they played, right? But the long layoff last season, I mean, you remember they came out and looked awful. But so he had his team go to the stadium, complete a real game, the duck on the motorcycle, everything, start to finish, because he was like, I do not think that my roster handles time off. So it's something to bring up. I mean, he made a big deal about it from last year.
Was the fake game the game against James Madison, or are you talking about another fake game?
That's a fair question,
Okay.
Stony. That is a very fair question, but it was actually another game the week prior that he had run-outs, all of it.
Gotcha.
I'm sure his team was like, what are you doing, coach? But it was a big point of contention. And then you look at an IU team who's had even more time off, right?
Yeah.
How do they, where are they? Although, I don't know, I wouldn't bet against good old Signetti.
I know.
The one thing that made me feel good about Bama, too, though, was, we talk all season about Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard, Isaiah Horton, rightfully so. Lozier Brooks doesn't do anything all season, has 2 touchdowns against Oklahoma. Like, they've got depth. They got pieces.
That's what I'm saying. If they start hitting some of these plays, I don't know, like, are we going to see the same from Indiana? Are they going to be able to respond that way? And that's where I'm like, I don't know. I think it could get pretty interesting.
Maybe it'll be fun, but of course, I'm married to an IU.
I was about to say, you
Don's
have
sleeping on it.
you have ulterior motives here. You have there's a hidden agenda there.
You got to be careful what you say.
There's a hidden agenda there. But also, I'm not going to say fell in love with, but I was fascinated by Kirk Cignetti working a JMU game when he was there. I mean, just fascinating. You would freaking love him, Stony.
Yeah.
Because he is no BS, all ball. Like, we walk in for our coaches meeting and he's like, hang on. And he's on his clicker watching film.
I love that.
Like, with his with his little laser light. And he's like, see this?
Mm-hmm.
We'll exploit that. And I mean, you would love him. Like, just film junkie, all ball, all the things. So honest, you know. So I don't know. I don't know if I'd bet against him.
I mean, what he's done at Indiana is
nuts,
historic. I mean, I'm 39 years old. I've been watching college football a long time. I can't off the top of my head think of a coaching job that has been as impressive as what he's done with Indiana. I think people that are just watching the last couple of seasons might not understand how bad the Indiana program was for so long.
So bad.
And now they're the best team in the country. They're the number 1 team in the country, the Big Ten champion Indiana Hoosiers. It's crazy. And they've got attitude too. Yeah. That's one thing about Cignetti is, like, he doesn't care who you are, how big you are, how fast you are. He's going to play harder. He's going to have his crew playing harder. And that's a commendable job, commendable effort there.
Yeah. The game I worked was like, I can't remember. It was JMU, Georgia Southern. I think Georgia Southern was favored by 7.
Yeah.
And I walked out of that meeting and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, Cignetti basically was like, we're going to win by 40. And guess what? They won by 40.
Yeah,
I mean, just dominated. He saw something on film. He knew they were going to exploit it. And it was like, bam, done. We are going to get into Cam Ward real quick. Let's get Scotty in Nashville here up against the hour. But we'll squeeze you in. Scotty, how are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
Good.
Good. I was wanting to call in 2 things. First off, we have a stud in Cam. We need a new head coach, needs to be focused on the offense, making sure his develop goes. We got some great wide receivers, DK, Gunner's going to be a superstar at tight end. And then we got 2 awesome key components on defense with Simmons. But I mean, the Titans just need to focus on offense with a new head coach is what I think we need to do. And then also going on y'all's Indiana thing, Cignetti's the man. Cignetti's going to bring in whatever quarterback he gets in the transfer portal next year and make them a Heisman candidate also. And last thing, Dawn, for your karaoke, I got a perfect place for you.
Okay.
It's a new putting facility. It's called the Putting Zone.
I saw it.
Stage, 18-hole par 72 putting course for the serious putters out there.
Ooh, I kind of love that. Then we could do karaoke and putting.
There we go. Man.
Thanks, Scotty. I'm putting you on the list.
Yeah, Scotty's.
You'll be number 1.
Scotty's in. Scotty's on the list.
Song.
Beam him up, Scotty. All right, taking a break. We'll be right back for the 5 o'clock hour. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
Good evening from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Ross Johnston. It was a tale of two halves yesterday as the Titans fell to the Saints 34-26 after leading 20-10 at the half. Cam Ward went 21 of 40 for 251 yards and 2 touchdowns to Chigakonkwo and Alec Iomanner. The Titans also got another big game from Jeffrey Simmons, who reached double-digit sacks in 2025 yesterday, marking the first time he's done so in a season during his career. The NFL's 2 win-and-get-in games are set, starting with the Buccaneers hosting the Panthers on Saturday at 3:30. The winner of that game will take home the NFC South title. And on the flip side, the Steelers host the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday night in Pittsburgh. The winner of that game will take home the AFC North. The Steelers will still be without wide receiver DK Metcalf in the game, and the Ravens are unsure about the status of Lamar Jackson. Lastly, the Tennessee Volunteers play their final game of the 2025 season tomorrow in Nashville as they take on Illinois in the Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl, with kickoff set for 4:30 at Nissan Stadium. You can listen to Vol Network's coverage of the game tomorrow right here on The Zone after Cover 2. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Welcome into 3HL on 104.5 The Zone. Happy Monday to you. Live from the 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. No sleigh, no mayor, but we are holding it down for you. I am Dawn Davenport, and I think we have an official intro for this guy.
Oh.
Oh, let's go. Let's go. Stony Keely with his own 3HL intro now.
How about it? Ross dug that one up.
I love it. I feel like I'm WWE in it.
It's so dubbed you can hardly understand what Jackson's saying in it either.
Yeah.
Do you know what the because I'm normally a chill guy, but do you know what had me screaming, "Yes, let's go," that clip is from?
What?
That was our Football and Other F Words Day 3 live stream extravaganza for the 2025 NFL Draft when the Titans took Sacramento State guard Jackson Slater.
No way.
He was one of my guys in the draft class, and when they took him, I freaked out on camera, lost my mind. So.
And you think what now?
Well, I think he's a guy they like as a developmental player. I think there's.
I love your excitement, though.
Yeah, that was what you get. Listen, we talked Jason Eck, we talked Jackson Slater.
That's right.
I'm going to be fired up.
I love it. Awesome. Well, Stony Keely filling in for the boys here today, which is awesome. We've got Chris Lowe coming up at 5:20. But before we get into Chris Lowe, I want to talk about Cam Ward's day because yesterday, here's the deal. My text chains were all over the show. So this was one text I got yesterday about Cam Ward. Holy crap, that throw from Cam, he's the future. It's looking bright.
Mm-hmm.
Now let me pull up this other text chain. This other text I got within the same time frame.
Can you read it on the air?
I can.
Okay.
I'll put.
Do some editing.
Gotta paraphrase a little bit.
I'll paraphrase.
Do some editing.
Yeah. Yes. That dude legitimately has as much of a pocket presence as a guy playing the position for the first time. It's painful.
Oof. It's like the baby deer learning to walk for the first time.
He needs someone to get him going. You can't dance around the pocket like a Keebler elf in this league. Not even taking a shot to the end zone on the final snap can't happen. He's awful, not the future.
That's...
So I got within, 30 minutes.
That's quite the spectrum. That's quite the spectrum,
that
too.
Spectrum.
We got the guy to total bust.
And both of them are legit NFL minds that I trust.
Smart football people.
Smart football people.
Smart football people.
So, with that being said, What is your take on what we got from Cam Ward yesterday?
I think that's just the type of player Cam Ward is. I think that's kind of who he's been his whole time, is like you have these swings where he has these incredibly turnover-worthy plays, and I think you put up with it because for every one of those plays he was making at Miami, he was making 4 or 5 of those throws that just make you hold your breath. Your jaw drops watching it. And I think so far with the Titans, he just hasn't gotten to that level of consistency. We're still having those, oh my goodness, what is he doing plays.
Yeah.
And we're not having enough of those, oh my goodness, fireworks show kind of plays to go with it. I do think that I err on the positive side of the evaluation for his season so far, because I do think there's been progress in a couple of key areas. I do think that he's shown, he didn't do it against the Saints yesterday, but I think in the games before it, I think he did start to show, okay, it's starting to set in that he's got to get the ball out quicker.
Yes.
And
I feel like he's gotten better.
He's gotten better as the season has gone on. I think he's taking fewer sacks. To go to the pocket presence thing, I think if you were to, kind of like what we were talking about with Ozzie earlier, it's like if you expand the sample size to the entire season, you might say, well, the pocket presence isn't that great. But if you compare like the last 4 games to the first 4 games, I still think you see improvement there.
But that's a knock on him from even Miami.
Yeah, for
was
sure.
Not feeling the pressure.
And like standing flat-footed in the pocket. It's like that's a no-no. You can't do that in the NFL. There's got to be some movement. Even, I get your protection's holding up, but it's only going to hold up for so long. We were kind of laughing on Titans Talkback yesterday about all the times that you see the offensive linemen for the Titans, Dan Moore, Peter Skoronski, J.C. Latham, whoever, looking around on a play like, dang, he still got the ball. We got to keep blocking because Cam still has the ball.
Yeah.
So I get the concern with that, and I'm not going to just brush it under the rug as if it's nothing, because it is something that he has to improve, or it will, it will shorten his NFL career if he doesn't get it right. But I think there's reason for hope in that he's gotten better at it throughout the season. And I think what we're starting to see is the production is starting to come with the improvement. How many games in a row now has he thrown multiple touchdowns?
2 touchdowns for the 4th straight game for Cam.
Yeah, and he should have had a 3rd. I
Right.
mean, that bomb to Chimere Dike that drew the defensive pass interference, if there's no interference on that play, that's a bucket. And Chimere Dike is probably falling into the end zone for another touchdown. So to see the improvement start to lead to production, I think for me, I'm encouraged because we've seen stuff like the arm talent, the creativity, the play extension, running around with his eyes downfield.
The vision.
The vision. Yeah, we've seen all that. I think where we've seen the improvement is the stuff like the feel for the game. And he just needs to get quicker. He needs to get, from a processing standpoint, you talk about the last play of the game. Like that ball, no matter what, you've got to get that off to the end zone.
Give it a chance.
Give it a chance, yeah.
You had 0 chance.
But I think
because of pocket presence.
Yeah.
Like, it is a legit critique.
Yeah. And then you look at, like, okay, a couple of weeks ago, we were having the conversation about his accuracy on deep balls. Well, he threw a couple of really well-placed deep balls against the Saints yesterday.
Yeah.
Where he threw
one
it
on the sideline.
Yeah.
I mean.
And like the one he throws to Mason Kinsey is like he puts it, like the defensive back is between Kinsey and Cam. And so he puts the ball a little outside so that Kinsey has somewhere to go to make a play. And so that's improvement, where he wasn't good at this a few weeks ago, and now he's showing that he can get better. So those are the things I think if you're not hyper-focused on the things that he does poorly, if you're looking at the things that he's improving at, I think those are the little nuggets of hope that you have, and understand that he's got the mental makeup to improve, to take coaching, to get better. Like he's cut from that cloth where he's just a dog. He's going to figure it out. And as he gets better, I think that's where you start to see him develop into a more consistent, complete quarterback.
So this is my question then. You've watched a lot of film. You've watched a lot of quarterbacks. You've watched a lot of quarterbacks that were bad in their first year and then better in year 2.
Mm-hmm.
The pocket presence argument about that's an issue for Cam Ward. the needing to get the ball out quicker, get rid of the ball. I feel like we've seen improvement with that. But is that coachable? Is that something that you can teach? I mean, is it like standing next to him and giving him a timer or something in the off season? Can you coach that?
Ross can probably speak to this because I've heard Zach and Blaine talk about it on Cover 2, of like Blaine talking about an air horn drill.
Zach said that today, yeah.
Yeah.
Blow it all off season and practice, get 3-4 seconds and blow the air horn, ball's got to be out, you know? But I think it's just a confidence and like a feel thing with pocket presence. There's no one specific drill that's going to make you excellent at pocket presence. You can do things to help out with it, but it's really just a confidence and a feel.
Is it coachable?
To a degree.
Yeah.
But it's not going to fix it. It's on him more to fix it, I think.
Yeah, and it goes back to what I was saying, like if you can just get marginally better at it, then you can probably live with that as long as you get him to the point where he's starting to hit more explosive plays that kind of make up for the losses. So that, to an extent, yeah, you could probably improve it, but I don't know. I think it just kind of comes with time, and I do think that's one of the benefits of getting so many reps in his rookie season, getting the live rounds out on the field when the games count, that sort of deal, is that you hope that sense of timing improves. I also don't know. There are some plays where it feels like he senses the pressure. Like he knows it's there, but it doesn't trigger quickly enough to escape the pocket. Like maybe he's not fast enough to just wait until the last second to bail. Maybe he could get away with that at Miami and Washington State,
level,
but guys are bigger, stronger, faster in the NFL. So you've got to kind of calibrate that sense of, okay, the guy's coming, I've got to go now, and I've got to run as fast as I can. I can't just, slip this guy casually or anything like that.
Well, the other thing is, part of that is also a positive to his game too, that you're not panicking back there. You don't feel the pressure. Maybe you see it, but you don't feel it. It doesn't affect you and what you do in your game standpoint. You just have to find the happy medium there.
Yeah, which I think, to draw the comparison to Will Levis, like it was an issue with Levis where it's like, I didn't know, like, does he even realize somebody's back there? It's like, it's not triggering. And with Cam, I feel like it's at least he's got a better sense of when and where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Also, like the whole like moving around in the pocket, getting a better sense of where to move in the pocket when the lanes are open. The strip sack pick six situation with Chase Young yesterday.
Yeah.
It's like if Dan Moore kind of rides his guy out and around the play, there's a lane wide open to the left. If Cam moves to the left, when that lane opens up, we're probably not talking about a touchdown for the Saints. But instead, he holds on to the ball. Moore's guy gets off of him. J.C. Latham loses the rep to an inside spin move, and Ward runs right directly where the pressure's coming from. So there's layers to it. There's nuance. I think by and large, the pocket presence has gotten better, but I think there are specific things. It's not just a general, wow, he doesn't know what's going on back there. It's like, you got to get better in these certain situations, and then maybe we'll be good.
He also needs a number one wide receiver, too. Just saying.
That would help. More playmakers.
Great point by Bryce, too. Sometimes I think he's looking for the bigger play. That was easier in college than just taking what might be there for him. And this is to your point that we talked about like an hour ago when we were talking about hero ball.
Yeah. And he said as much in a presser this week. Is like, I was big play hunting a little too much.
Yeah.
And, you can't live by that in the NFL. You've got to be able to take what defenses give you every once in a while.
No doubt. All right, we're going to take a break. Chris Lowe from On3 Sports will join us. We're going to talk all kinds of college football, transfer portal. Bring up Kalen DeBoer. How close was he to this Michigan job? That's what I want to know. And Chris Lowe always knows everything. So he's joining us. You don't want to miss it. Stay with us. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
All right, good people. MedicalHouseCalls.com is coming to you. This is healthcare designed for your life. It's 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And trust and believe, when you call or text, they're going to get right back with you. Now, that number is 615-838-2375. 615-838-2375. Hey, I'm telling you, I was feeling down. Had to be somewhere on Monday. I called them Sunday. They came Monday morning, right there, administered the IV, got me feeling back right. I was on the plane that night, Tuesday. I was no problem at all. You can book your visit after a quick call, and they'll schedule you. Medical providers will be at your door just like mine. IV therapy that consists of vitamins, minerals, and nutrients going straight to your bloodstream. You get maximum absorption, giving you rapid results and immediate symptom relief. Athletic recovery, immune-boosting blends, rapid rehydration, energy boost you can't miss. They will help you select IV therapy that fits best for your needs. So, physical health care, urgent care, IV therapy, all up under one umbrella. MedicalHouseCalls.com.
Welcome back in 3HL 1045 The Zone on this Monday afternoon. We are so glad you are hanging with us. Dawn Davenport with Stony Keely. We are efforting Chris Lowe right now. I will say, though, he was on a flight to New Orleans for the Sugar Bowl, so maybe he was a little delayed. Maybe he's stuck in baggage claim. You know, I don't know if Chris Lowe is a check a bag kind of guy or what.
Flights are crazy right now, too. I mean,
they are crazy.
Weather this time of year, you never know.
What, you just came back from where there was a blizzard, right?
Yeah, it was a horrible travel day. Yeah, I was scheduled to fly out of Newark, New Jersey on Saturday, and they were forecast to get like 8 inches of snow Friday night.
Oh my gosh.
And so I panicked because I'm thinking if I don't get on that flight Saturday, I'm not going to be back for Titans Talk Back. And so called United. They got me on for Friday, but it was a connecting flight. My flight from Newark to Chicago.
Oh, Chicago. That's not any better.
landed at 1:28 p.m. My flight from Chicago to Nashville was boarding at 1:29 p.m.
Did you make it?
And I was across the airport.
And Chicago's brutal.
I was like Bijan Robinson through that airport, just cutting, juking, like making people miss. I was running over a couple of people, and it's like, sorry, old people, you got to get out of my way. I got a plane to catch. And then halfway through, I got a text from United that said, hey, we're going to hold the gate open a little longer for you.
Nice.
So
they waited for you. They're like, we know that Stony has to get back for the Titans show. We're gonna hold it for him.
So I made it with like 4 minutes to spare before they closed up the plane.
Oh.
And I'm just soaking wet with sweat.
Oh gosh.
And
you're like,
yeah,
like sit next to the person. Yeah, that's the worst.
I sit down next to this guy, and people already groan when they see me coming because I'm 6'2", I'm almost 300 pounds, like. I'm a big, sweaty dude, just in general. And much less when I'm like out of breath and you can see sweat rolling down my face. I'm sweating through my hoodie, sweat spots all over my hoodie. That guy just looked like, oh man, get me out of here.
Like, why is this guy coming to sit next to me?
Yeah.
Can I do a quick PSA while we wait for CeeLo? Did you text him?
Yeah, I got an update on the situation.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah.
So here's my PSA. Stony, you listen to 3HL. You know that I'm adamant. Like, you do not drive slow in the left lane. It is the passing lane. You go fast. If there's somebody behind you, even if you're going 90, if there's somebody behind you, get the hell out of the way,
Move
right?
over.
Same with the airport.
Yeah.
So I have had to fly a lot. I've been all over the place with ESPN games the last couple of weeks, right? Same thing. Yep. Why are you just standing in the middle of the walkway?
I don't know.
Why are you going slow on the left side of the right side of the walkway when people have connections to make? Everybody's always late. Like, you're trying to make connections. Get the hell over.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if you thought what Derrick Henry did to Josh Norman was bad, you should have seen what I did to this old man. Just
oh, gosh.
Out the way, buddy. I'm coming through.
I'm telling you, PSA on the roads or in the airport, get the hell out of the way. Move to the right if you're slow. Listen, when I travel with my 5-year-old, I'm like, we are all the way to the right because we are a little bit slower than everybody else. We got to let people pass if they want to go.
Yeah.
Well, this may offend some people too, but if you're in the middle of the back of the plane and it lands, don't stand up. Stay seated.
The worst.
Please stay seated.
Oh, plane etiquette. My favorite is, I have a connection. Yeah, we're in Atlanta. Everybody has a freaking connection. Sit your ass down.
Well, that's one thing I'll give United credit, and I promise they're not paying me, but that when the plane landed, they came over the intercom and they were like, if you do not have a connection, please stay seated. Let the people with the connecting flights
that was nice.
off first. And I was like, buddy, say less. I'm there just throwing elbows, like, get out of my way.
I'm gone.
There was some guy in first class that was looking at me like, oh my God, who is this disgusting human being? Sweaty man just crowding.
Football guy.
Yeah. And I'm like, get out the way. Get out the way or accept the consequences.
Boom.
That's right. Well, people will be like, I just need to stand up and stretch for a second because we've been sitting on this flight. You can't wait 5 more minutes?
I don't know. I will say sometimes after a West Coast flight, if I don't stand up, then I can't walk.
You get locked up.
I get locked up. So I've got to like stretch the knees out so that I can actually deplane and walk off the plane. Otherwise, I'm going to collapse because my knees won't work. So
I've been there before.
I kind of feel that.
There are exceptions.
Yeah.
Well, CeeLo has landed. He said he was on a crowded rental car shuttle and would call when he is not crowded.
I
any
totally,
longer.
I get that. I get that world.
Been there before. Those travel days, oh man, don't love it. Don't love it.
And he's in New Orleans. That rental shuttle is always packed, and it always takes forever.
Can we just like text
worst.
him our questions and see if he just texts back real quick?
I know. I'm like, we have so much we want to talk about. We're not going to have enough time.
Chris, can you send a voice memo over?
Yeah, but that's okay. Hopefully he'll get there soon, and we will jump in with him. So we were talking about Indiana and Alabama.
Yeah.
And Mr. Babs, of course, texted. He is an IU grad, but he was like, don't forget, 90% chance of rain at the
Rose Bowl.
Which
Rain
is
at the Rose Bowl.
crazy. So let's say rainy, sloppy, messy game. Who does that help?
I think it helps Indiana.
Yeah.
I think it does because so much of the Alabama offense has been predicated on the passing game, the big play, and they haven't. We just haven't seen this Alabama team take on the identity that the program was known for so many years. So. Yeah. I think you look at the way that Indiana was able to grind out that win against Ohio State. You're talking about sloppy field conditions. You're talking about just getting in there, beating and banging and running the ball. I think it favors a Hoosiers team that has shown they can play that style of football and win more than an Alabama team that, they've played some good defense, but are they going to be able to run the ball? It looks like they're figuring some things out with their bigger back. That's a little more of a hammer, but I don't know. I feel like that would play more into what Indiana wants to do on offense.
Yeah, I agree with you. So it's going to be interesting. 90%. Like, it doesn't normally rain there.
No, I mean.
You definitely don't get a 90% chancer.
Yeah, I can't remember a Rose Bowl rain game. But maybe, hey, we're setting up for something legendary. I don't know.
Little history in the making there.
Well, hey, the one seed got pounded at the Rose Bowl last year, so you never know what could happen this year.
How about that? Yeah.
And it was beautiful at the game last year.
Yeah. It often is. It looks like a beautiful place. I've never been.
Other news, college football news around the country. It looks like Clemson has fired offensive coordinator Garrett Riley and veteran assistant Mickey Kahn. Pete Thamel saying they will not return, but it seems like, I think, that Clemson offense was not great. We expected Cade Klubnik to be so legit this year. I mean, he was everybody's Heisman watch list early on, and then they just were not good on offense.
People thought he was going to be a first-round draft pick, too.
Right.
Like, he was in the conversation to be first-round quarterback taken. That offense was kind of difficult to watch at times this year for all the talent that they had. And really, offense and defense both. Clemson the roster is loaded with NFL talent. For them to have had the season that they had, it's not really a surprise that heads are going to roll somewhere.
Yeah, it's funny the Clemson fan base is all, wow, we didn't think Dabo would actually do it. I can't believe he did it. Yay, free us from the chains, whatever else.
Yeah.
But so Garrett Riley's been there 3 years, 3 seasons now.
I didn't realize it.
Surprised me when I looked it up. I was like, dang, he's been there that long. But if you think about it, hadn't been a great couple of years offensively for Clemson at all.
Hadn't been a good run. And I think again, to go back to the talent that they had, to think you've got that kind of talent and you're going to put that offense on the field, I mean, someone's going to be held accountable for that. It's like if you don't get out of the way on the road or at the airport, you're going to be held accountable.
You're going to be held accountable, and we're coming up your butt. Let's go.
Dawn, I have a question about Garrett Riley. It might be stupid, but I figured you would know better than me or Stony since you're in the college football world more. Like, does it surprise you that he's never been with Lincoln on a staff? Or, what do you think is with that?
It does not surprise me. It doesn't surprise me for numerous reasons.
Father-son dynamic or like?
Yeah.
I just didn't know. Like, I figured, since he's not a coach, he's a coordinator. Like, he could be on the same staff with Lincoln, but it is a weird dynamic in football for sure.
I mean, there's a lot of weird dynamics out there, right? By the way, Illinois, speaking of, Illinois State, Illinois, Brett Bielema was talking about where they get to practice for the bowl game. And he was like, yeah, this is awesome. We got an SEC facility. We get to practice at Vanderbilt because Tennessee refused to practice and hold their practices there. They instead went to Montgomery Bell Academy, which is awesome facilities,
I was
by
about
the
to
way.
say, probably ain't too far off.
They're probably the same. I'm not going to lie. But I just love that because Tennessee's like, we're not going to that facility. Hell no.
No, and we talked about it a little bit during the break. There's still a place for hatred in sports. We don't always have to be good sports. Sometimes let's be petty. Let's hold the grudge. I think that's part of what makes the rivalries fun. So I applaud the decision.
I love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe had Tennessee won that game, they would practice there, but they did not win that game. So
what if it
just want to rub it in there, huh? You know.
That's right.
I mean, we all know that if Tennessee did practice there, that Vanderbilt would make sure that score was plastered on the wall or, there would be something.
Yeah.
There would be something. I would be disappointed if there weren't.
The last time these two teams faced off, here's what happened.
See, what had happened was...
Now, what's going to happen if they don't get a good practice in, they end up getting blown out in this bowl game, and then it comes out, our practice conditions were not that great.
Well, I can tell you, the turf on NBA's field, I mean, they're going to be cleaning out those cleats for a while. So God bless the equipment team for Tennessee staff because there's a lot of turf on that field.
Imagine the Josh Heupel hot seat talk starts up early this cycle because they practice at NBA instead of at Vanderbilt.
Jeez. Lord have mercy. Okay, what else college football? Oh, Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
Portal comments. I don't know if you saw that. Somebody said, is Lagway coming? Well, we want to ask Chris Lowe about it if we can ever get him on the phone. But there's a lot of talk about Lagway to Vanderbilt, which makes sense, doesn't it?
That would rip. That would be so unbelievably awesome.
It would be unbelievable. But Lane Kiffin's portal comments, and I'll just give you the abbreviated version that people are talking about. Kiffin, it's out of control. It's a bad system. I'm not mad at the players. They all have agents. Even if they want to stay, they still get into the portal. It's a bad system.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not totally wrong, but this is coming from the guy who has been all in on the portal up until now.
Yeah. I mean, I told you earlier, I'm like, sometimes Lane Kiffin says things and I don't know, is he being serious or is he working a bit here? You know, it's like, it's almost like he's ripping a cigarette in front of us while telling us not to smoke.
Yes.
Like, you shouldn't smoke. It's not good for you, while he's just puffing away over there. I'm like, you're sending mixed signals here. This is kind of conflicting. Like,
yeah.
And I also think it's possible that he means it. He's 100% right. Like, this is something that is long-term bad for college football, but at the same time,
I mean, it is.
At the same time, it's kind of the nature of the beast right now. And if you don't take advantage of it, if you don't dip into that transfer portal and use it to your advantage, then you're behind. Mm-hmm. You're behind everybody else. So I think it can be a little bit of multiple things can be true at the same time.
I also think this because he, at some point during this same conversation, said, we're going to refocus recruiting on high school kids and winning the state of Louisiana. Mm-hmm. It's a lot easier when you're at LSU
I was about to say.
to make these comments and talk about, because of the freaking talent-rich state that Louisiana is, and that everybody grows up there wanting to go play for LSU. Mm-hmm. It's a lot easier to sit here and say, we're going to refocus our recruiting efforts on high school, kids.
It's like he wants...
yeah, because... Look, you're in Louisiana.
It's like he wants everybody to know this is my idea we're going to focus recruiting in Louisiana now. We're not going to focus on the transfer portal.
Right.
And
exactly.
it just goes back to that being like he did what he had to do to be successful and get players at Ole Miss.
Right.
And now he doesn't have to do that anymore, so the narrative can change a little bit if he wants it to.
Yep, exactly. So. And maybe it's a tactic with him. I mean, love him or hate him, Lane Kiffin's not dumb.
No, he's not. No,
and maybe it's a tactic talking about, hey, we're going to focus. All these schools are not focusing on these high school players. Mm-hmm. We are. So if you're in Louisiana, you're coming here.
I mean, let
me get all the 5 stars from Louisiana.
And you got to imagine, though, that LSU fans are probably hearing that and they're thinking like, oh, wow, this is our guy. He gets it.
There you go. Own the state again. own the state, which they always do anyway. But, okay, we're going to take a quick break, and then that way we'll have some time. If Chris Lowe gets to his rental car in time, we'll have some time for him to jump on and answer some of our questions. Thanks for hanging with us, though. We've got one more segment here on 3HL. Happy Monday, people.
United Structural Systems is a foundation repair and waterproofing company that has served the Middle Tennessee area since 1994. Foundation repair, waterproofing issues, USSTN.com. If you have foundation repair issues, some of the symptoms you may be experiencing are your bricks cracking, walls bowing, doors or windows sticking, drywall separating, stair-step cracks in your masonry mortar joints, chimneys tilting or leaning. These are all signs of a possible foundation issue. Your house may be trying to tell you something. When it comes to large home repairs, a lot of times homeowners pretend you don't see the warning signs. Maybe you're afraid of what you're going to hear. Especially true with waterproofing and foundation repair. It could be something big that needs to be fixed. Could be a small problem now that will become bigger, or it could be nothing. Bottom line is you don't know what you don't know, and you certainly don't want to be sold something that you do not need. Over 30,000 100% satisfied residential customers. Homeowners trust USS, keeping homes dry and stable. We guarantee our best. Call USS 615-488-7855, USSTN.com.
Welcome back, 3HL 1045 The Zone. Happy Monday. Our final segment today. My family's all here. We're about to hit a flight out to Las Vegas, because Vegas with a 5 and 13-year-old is a brilliant idea.
Yeah, of course.
But I have so many games that if I didn't make them come with me, I probably wouldn't see them for like 2 weeks. So they get to go to Vegas.
I'm saying I don't know how you do it. You're here, you're there, you're here, you're there. But that's the ticket. Just you don't have to worry about it if you just tag everybody along.
That's right. It's fun. Hey, Baby Babs is here. You want to say hi to everybody on the radio? Say hi. No. All of a sudden you're shy? All right. Stony, thanks for hanging out with me today, man.
Happy to
This
be
has
here.
been awesome. Your Titans knowledge and all of it is just off the charts, and it was really fun today.
Thanks. I enjoyed it. Yeah. Most days I'm here. I'm down in the basement. Just come knock on the door down there. People don't know that about me. I hang around the studio. So anytime you need somebody to fill in, just dig me out of some hole somewhere.
You don't want to offer that with Slay's schedule and basketball, with my schedule and football. You about to be a permanent. This is how Slay worked his way in, by the way.
Was it really?
Yes.
Oh, that's good to know. I'm running the Slay playbook then.
Exactly.
The Slay book, if you will.
He was like, hey, I will, I'll fill in. And I had not filled in with him at all. And Mayor was like, man, you're going to love him. It's going to be great, whatever. He had filled in like 10 times for me on 3HL.
Yeah.
And so finally it was just me and him. And I was like, oh, he's awesome. Can we hire him? Like, what are we doing?
There we go.
So there you go. You're on the Slay playbook. Hey, real if so we probably have like, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes here. Don't know if we're going to get Chris Lowe or not. But if I had to say, Stony wants a contract. Get him one.
I mean, let the people speak.
That's right. Paul, you listening? If I said, okay, $1 million, your life depends on it, who are the Titans going to hire as head coach? Who would you say?
Ooh, it's not going to be popular, but I think they're going to go with Matt Nagy.
Okay.
The obvious connection with the Kansas City Chiefs, Mike Bergonzi, that
Right.
sort of thing. But I think they also want experience. And I think there's another issue that we haven't talked about a lot with this coaching cycle is that there's going to be other teams that are looking for head coaches too.
Yes.
Jeff Hafley, the Green Bay Packers defensive coordinator, well, New York Giants might be looking at him. So you're going to lose out on some of these candidates. And I think ultimately they want a guy with experience. The number of guys available in this cycle with experience is kind of smaller. It sounds like people with sourced information don't really feel like Robert Saleh is a legitimate option for this job. So you start dwindling down the possibilities, and I feel like all signs are going to point to Matt Nagy.
So right now, Sports Betting AG released the odds for who they would hire. Matt Nagy is plus 250. He's the favorite right now. Mike McCarthy plus 275.
Yeah.
Right there behind him. And then after that, you just kind of, by the way, can I just point out the last name on this list, which is John Gruden, 50-1.
John Gruden. We're still having the John Gruden conversation.
Like he never goes away.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Don, I am so set that Matt Nagy is going to be the next coach of the Titans. I've been reading up on the 2018 Chicago Bears playbook. So
Stop. Wait, hold that up for the camera.
Trying
for the
to
chat
understand.
Again.
Yeah, this is a Bobby Peters book. It is the Chicago Bears offensive manual.
That is amazing.
Digging into, I think there's a perception out there that he did not do anything with Mitchell Trubisky, but he actually was pretty savvy with Trubisky. And I think time told us that Trubisky was not an NFL starting quarterback.
Right.
So,
That maybe that was the problem.
yeah. So I'm with it. I think that's going to be the move. Probably not the most exciting move, but again, you're talking the $1 million question. I think that's where I land.
Well, the conversation too is what kind of a head coach do you want, right?
Yeah.
Because for me, I just look at what happened with Brian Callahan.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to call him his dad. What happened with Callahan? Like you want, for me as a Titans fan, a coach who has been a head coach before,
Yeah.
who can come in and help fix this mess that is the
Mhm.
Titans franchise. And I don't care if it's an offensive or defensive minded coach. If it's a defensive minded coach, great. You better get the baddest ass offensive coordinator you can find, right? And let that guy run the show.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. I think too often NFL teams get caught up in getting the guy from the next guy from the Shanahan system, the next guy from the McVay system, or in the Titans case, it was, hey, the Bengals, let's grab a guy from their staff. Yeah. I don't want that.
And he was, do you remember? I mean, he was a really talked about candidate.
Yeah, I mean, he was a hot commodity.
He was highly touted.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not, I don't look at it as the Titans being boneheaded about this and reaching. This was a guy that was sought after in that coaching cycle, and they landed him. So
it was a huge get.
Yeah, but I go back to this idea of just like hiring a guy based off of the system he's coming from. Don't do that. Just hire the guy for who he is and what he stands for. We talk about like Jeff Hafley. I've been watching some of his coaching clinics. The way he talks to players resonates with them. We talked about Jason Eck earlier, not to bring things full circle and shoehorn some more Jason Eck talk in.
The New Mexico head coach.
Yeah, we talked about Kurt Cignetti at Indiana. Like, these are not necessarily coaches that are successful because of the scheme they run, but it's how they resonate with players and they get guys to buy in and how they lead people. And I think, to me, that is the most important trait in this head coach, the hire that they're going to make, because I do think you can get the play caller to get the offense to function, but you've got to get the guy that can bring everybody together. And for me, that doesn't mean just because you coached under Sean McVay, you're going to be successful here. Find out what makes a guy tick, do your due diligence, trust it, and hire that guy that people are going to draw towards.
Great point. So here are some of the other names on the list as far as odds for the Tennessee Titans' next head coach from Sports Betting AG. Arthur Smith, 5-1.
Experience?
Maybe that ship has sailed, though. Like, he's been here. We know. I don't know.
I like the argument that he knows how the Titans operate. Like, oh, he knows how they operate, so he would be the choice. He knows how the Titans operate, which is probably why he turned down the job.
Right.
Exactly, like he'd want to come here.
Yeah.
Some of the others, Jesse Minter, 7-1.
I like Jesse Minter.
Do you like him as, let's say, no Nagy, no Mike McCarthy?
Yeah, I think he's kind of a savant when it comes to defense. Like, the way he's doing things with the Chargers right now, it's like simplified chaos. Like, it looks like one thing, but he gets to another while only like rotating one player instead of rotating everybody. There's a rabbit hole to go down with his scheme. But I think the issue with Minter is, like, can he command the room? Because I watched some of his stuff, and it's a very mild-mannered guy. He's not very rah-rah. And I go back to one of the reasons that I think Brian Callahan was ultimately axed here was because of that lack of being able to really command the room, so to speak.
Yeah.
So if
I can see that,
you can't go from that to more of the same. And that would be my worry with Minter, the way he communicates. Like,
great point. Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll do the rest of the list as we say goodbye here. Joe Brady, 8-1. Cliff Kingsbury, 8-1. Steve Sarkisian, 12-1. Come on now. Flores, 14-1. Clint Kubiak, 16-1. Robert Saleh, 18-1. And then, of course, Gruden at 50-1. So there we go. When does the hire happen?
Hopefully soon, because the Senior Bowl's coming up.
Yeah.
Ain't got too much longer. Hey, let's put Jason Eck on the list, too. Why not? Future Titans
What would
head
those
coach,
odds be?
Jason Eck.
You got odds for that?
$5 million.
I was going to say, I could retire.
Yeah.
You
that
could,
bet.
probably.
Yeah, no doubt. Awesome. Well, hey, it's been fun. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for
Anytime.
dropping your knowledge on us today.
Anytime. Happy to be here.
Yes, good stuff. And we'll have you on once the Titans hire a head coach. How's that?
Hey, I'll be here.
I love it.
I'll be here.
Awesome. 3HL at 104.5 The Zone. That wraps us up today. Thank you so much for spending your time with us here on this Monday. I forget what Mayor says. We don't take you for granted, nor do we take it lightly. Good night. God bless.
There you go.
See ya.
Wouldn't want to be unless you were getting a shout out to Jason Eck.
Hey, I gotta text him and let him know we just talked him up.